repeat. At this point, you're practically training for the Shower Olympics. But here's the twist. It's not your shampoo's fault, it's your water. Hard water leaves a mineral residue that clogs your pores and dries out your hair. Culligan water softeners remove damaging minerals, revitalizing brittle hair and dry skin. Upgrade your shower system today for only $79 a month. Visit Culligan.com for more information or just say,
Hey, Culligan man!
Tina, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hey, Colin, what's up?
How's the gym?
It's been great. I'm seeing results. My sports-certified Vitacost products have made a world of difference.
Oh, same. Isn't it great? Vitacost is basically the reason I've been able to keep up with Ironman training. Everything you need is in one place for my BCAAs, protein, and electrolytes. Best part, it's all clean and free of banned substances.
Go re-up on your supplements today. Visit Vitacost.com and use code ESPN20 for 20% off. Level up your game with Vitacost.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
What if every use of your debit card turns spare change into something meaningful, like growing your savings and supporting local community causes? With Flagler Credit Union's Impact Checking with Everyday Change, your spare change can have big impact. Each transaction can be rounded up to grow your savings and support nonprofits that provide meals, shelter, and essential services locally. Make an impact in your life and in your community. Open your Impact Checking account today. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special presentation of Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 1063. The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 1063.
Oh, it's a cannon shot! Go ahead and give him the goal of the league!
This is the Inter Miami pregame show, live from the ESPN West Palm studios. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Welcome on in, folks, to your Inter Miami pregame show. I am your host, Mike Rizzo. We are leading you all the way until kickoff tonight in Chase Stadium. Inter Miami back home tonight. Little home cooking for our Herons as we get you ready for Inter Miami football on your Inter Miami radio network. Now, the last time we saw our Herons out, it ended with a 1-1 draw in Toronto. Toronto, a team heading into that matchup, drew 6 games in a row, if you believe it or not. And then after the draw against the Herons, it's 7. My goodness. They really like to muddy up games. They like to kind of dictate the pace of games, and you saw that in Toronto. Now, I do have some highlights. I was fortunate enough to be on the call for this one. The great Ken Levica was unavailable. I was on the call for the game in Toronto at BMO Stadium, and we did see a pretty fantastic goal. This was Tadio Allende getting into the back of net, courtesy of Jordi Alba. As our Herons are in the box, Jordi Alba, near side box, crosses it in, looking for Suarez, goal! It found Allende instead! What a pass by Jordi Alba! The lid is lifted in the 45th minute. Goals were hard to come by with goalkeeper Sean Johnson having the game of his life for Toronto FC. He was making save after save. Suarez, header to Segovia, right outside the penalty arc. Back heel to Messi. Messi shoots, blocked! Sean Johnson again denying Messi for the third time tonight. That was on his strong foot, too. What a sequence by Inter Miami. So Inter Miami and the Herons getting denied with Messi being in the box. Messi had 4 shots on target, all 4 saved by Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson on the game had 5 total saves, 4 of them coming up against the GOAT. Like I said, he will not have a better game in his career as a professional. Now, Inter Miami, sadly, was up, or rather, Inter Miami was up 1-0, and in the second half, this happened in the 60th minute. Inter Miami had a breach of defense. Pass back into the box. Here's Laurier. Laurier crossed over Mihailovic, scores! Goal for Toronto! Great pass by Laurier. It was a one-timer. And Mihailovic made him pay. It was a good pass in from the center back Laurier. And Toronto, man, they like to play a lot of guys forward. They had defenders forward, defenders in the box. And Inter Miami was able to counter them on that Jordi Alba, Tadio Allende goal. But Toronto holds strong, and they ultimately get a 1-1 result on their home field at BMO Field in Toronto. And now that makes things tricky, folks, with Inter Miami and the Supporters' Shield. The Philadelphia Union, they now control their own destiny in the Supporters' Shield race. The Union on the MLS table are number 1 on that MLS Eastern Conference and the Supporters' Shield table. If Philadelphia wins their final 2 games against NYCFC and Charlotte, they will have the Shield. Now, Inter Miami is still in play. They could, if Philadelphia loses and Inter Miami is able to win out, they could win the Supporters' Shield. Now, Inter Miami has 2 games in hand of Philadelphia. More things can happen too, folks. I mean, Philadelphia could theoretically drop the 2 games that they have left, drop points, drop out of the Eastern Conference table and the Supporters' Shield table. There's still a lot of football left to be played, but Inter Miami kind of shooting themselves in the foot a little bit with that draw on the road against Toronto. But folks, it's one of those things where you really just got to tip your cap. I can't, from someone who watched every roll of the ball and every minute of the game, it was one of the best goalkeeper performances you will see in the MLS this year. On that side, this side of the world, honest to God, in CONCACAF Cup play, that Sean Johnson had an 8.9 match rating, according to FOTMob. Now, I'm one of those people who takes into consideration match ratings and MR. I know a lot of people don't necessarily like it. But I will say this, even if you don't like the match rating kind of stat, goalkeepers rarely have over a 7, let alone an 8.9. The guy almost had a 9 match rating, according to FOTMob, and a lot of it has to do, obviously, with the 5 saves. But the 4 saves, too, against one of the best players in the world, it's nothing to snuff at. And you really, at that point, just got to tip your cap. But I don't think Philadelphia is going to win the final 2. I don't. I think the game they lose is that final game in Charlotte. October 18th, that's the date where Philadelphia will go on the road to Charlotte. That is the last match week of the MLS season, by the way, October 18th, that weekend. And Inter Miami is going to be facing off against Nashville that very same day. But our Herons have a plethora of games to make up until that point. I mentioned, obviously, the Supporters' Shield title is going to be a little dicey, but Inter Miami will play its 7th game in 18 days. They continue to play catch-up in terms of games played and points earned, but the game tonight is one that was rearranged due to Inter Miami's participation in the League Cup final at the end of August. So this game was supposed to be played at the end of August, but it was rearranged, obviously, to Inter Miami having a lot of success in the League's Cup. They went all the way to the Cup final, where they ultimately ended up losing to the Seattle Sounders in Seattle. You're making up games right now because of how successful Inter Miami has been in domestic competitions and cups. Tadio Allende, I mentioned, was the lone goal scorer in the draw in Canada this past Saturday. And Mascherano's side, believe it or not, failed to get a win against Toronto, who is a bottom feeder team in the Eastern Conference with 28 points. But certainly Inter Miami's main focus is that MLS Cup. You know, Inter Miami won the Supporters Shield last year. They were first place in the Eastern Conference last year, and they ultimately ended up not winning the MLS Cup. I think the big moment Inter Miami is going to have is when they get into the MLS Cup playoffs, because to be fair, Inter Miami went to the semifinal in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They went to the final in Leagues Cup, and they went to the knockout stage at the FIFA Club World Cup. This has been a team who's been playing consistently good football within competitions. It'd be a hell of an accomplishment to win that MLS Cup, which they did not last year. And I think right now, obviously right now, it's the only tournament that is left. But I think Inter Miami's main focus is the Cup playoffs. I don't know how much of it is the Supporters Shield and doing all that again. They did that last year. And I think if the Herons make it worthwhile by winning the MLS Cup playoffs, the Supporters Shield is going to be an afterthought anyway. But they did, folks, 73 points on the table last year in the Supporters Shield in the first round. You did that. You did that already. Would it be great? Absolutely. Another trophy for the trophy case. Another trophy for the trophy case. But I think Mascherano knows that the big one right now is that MLS Cup playoffs. Now, Lionel Messi failed to score a goal and have an assist in the game against Toronto. Going into that game, into the Toronto game, the 3 games prior, 8 goal and assist contributions. And I think Messi deserved a goal in that Toronto game, neither here nor there. But Messi's been in great form, and I think he had a great game against Toronto as well. And I think when it comes to tonight being back home in Chase Field, I think the only thing, not the only thing, but like I think exactly what Inter Miami needs is home cooking in front of great fans. And they're going to do that the next 3 games in a row. They're going to do that tonight when they face the Chicago Fire. By the way, the Fire, if they win, they're in. If they win, they're going to be in the MLS Cup playoffs. So they got the Fire tonight, the Revolution, and then Atlanta. The Fire are fighting for a playoff spot. New England right now New England, they're completely out of the Cup consideration. They're out of the playoffs, and same with Atlanta. So the next two opponents out of 3 are going to be out of the MLS Playoff Cup consideration, New England and Atlanta. Obviously, you got in front of you tonight. You want to focus on the now, and that is Chicago. And then to end the year on the 18th, they are in Nashville. So we'll have to keep a close eye on what our Herons are able to do the final 4 games. Once again, all these 3 games at home in Chicago, New England, and Atlanta, and then on the road against Nashville. Folks, this is your Inter Miami pregame show on your Inter Miami Radio Network. We are powered by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. That is AudiUSA.com to learn more. When we come back, we'll continue to break down the matchup between Inter Miami and Chicago on your home of Inter Miami football, ESPN 106.3 and your Inter Miami Radio Network.
Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here, football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. The next chapter of Audi is here. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener. While others will just read about the match, you're laser focused on every detail. At PNC Bank, we get it. We're all in on helping you make smart money moves and score your financial goals. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts and Brilliantly Boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121, or visit tworld.com today.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
The season is kicking off. Keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8-star rating, EDS is trusted as the MVP, and it has been since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Kick off your game day comfort and don't sweat the small stuff. Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here, football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener. While others will just read about the match, you're laser focused on every detail. At PNC Bank, we get it. We're all in on helping you make smart money moves and score your financial goals. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts and Brilliantly Boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the Inter Miami pregame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
Our Herons are in the box. Jordi Alba, near side box, crosses it in, looking for Suarez. Goal! It found Allende instead. What a pass by Jordi Alba! The lid is lifted in the 45th minute. Our Inter Miami Herons on a 4-game unbeaten streak, 3 wins and a draw. They will try to continue that tonight as they got the Chicago Fire in their own building and in their backyard coming up tonight. The Fire need a win, and they're in the MLS Cup playoffs. They are currently fighting for that final and 9th spot on the MLS Cup playoff side. Now, as of right now, the Columbus Crew would be the 8th team in the East, and the Fire would be the 9th, which means the Crew and the Fire would play each other for the right to play the number 1 seed. It is the MLS wildcard round where the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference 8 and 9 teams do battle to earn the opportunity to face off against the number 1 seed on each respectable conference. So big implications for the Fire tonight. Still got implications for our Inter Miami Herons on the Supporter Shield side. Inter Miami dropping points against Toronto hurt them in the sense of they don't control their own destiny like they did going into that game. The destiny is now in the hands of the Philadelphia Union. If they win their next 2 fixtures, they will be crowned Supporter Shield's champions. But they play 2 tough opponents in NYC, FC, and Charlotte. So we'll have to wait and see if Philadelphia is able to take care of business. But as of right now, our Herons just need to keep winning. As far as winning, Inter Miami has won 16 matchups this year. They've drawn 8 and lost 6. The Fire have won the Fire have won 14 fixtures, drawn 6, but have dropped 11 games. So the Chicago Fire, the 9th team, our Herons, the 4th team. Let's flip things on over to that Western Conference. Right now, you got 2 teams duking it out for the chance to get the number 1 seed. Right now, San Diego is the team that is in number 1 in first place in the West with 57 points. They've played 32 games, but on their heels are the Vancouver Whitecaps. They have 57 points as well, but they do have a game in hand. They've played 31 games compared to San Diego's 32. And then Minnesota has something to say still as well. They have their 2 games left as well, and they have 55 points. Minnesota has not been in good form. Now that I think of it, none of these teams have been in good form, the top 3 as of late. San Diego lost their last fixture and drew 2 fixtures ago. Vancouver has drawn 2 straight, but they do have a 5-game unbeaten streak, but they have drawn their last 2. And then Minnesota, in their last 2 games, has drawn and lost as well. So it's still up for grabs on that Western Conference as far as the top seed. But as far as Supporter Shield race, I would probably give the nod to Philadelphia and or Miami. Miami, our Herons still have 2 games in hand comparatively to the other teams that have played 32. And obviously the Union sitting at the top right now with 63 points. That is 6 points better than any of the top 2 teams in San Diego and Vancouver on the Western Conference side, and 4 points better than FC Cincinnati. With Cincinnati's final 2 games still needing to be played, they could technically have 64 points and win the Supporter Shield if the Union lose 2 games in a row, but I hardly see that happening. Inter Miami, on the other hand, who has 4 games left to play, they could get 12 points, and if the Union drop points, they could jump them. So Inter Miami still technically in Supporter Shield territory, and a chance to win that, as we've been saying on your Inter Miami Radio Network and Pink Smoke before this. But things still have to go their way, and they do not control their own destiny. I cannot make that more clear. Philadelphia now, if they win the next 2, it is as good as theirs. I mentioned Philadelphia's 2 opponents, Philadelphia and NYCFC. And the battle in the Eastern Conference for the top 4 is still on for the likes of teams like FC Cincinnati and NYCFC and Charlotte. Charlotte, after winning 9 games in a row, including beating our Inter Miami Herons in Charlotte, they've lost 2 games in a row now. They lost to NYCFC and they lost to Montreal. Believe it or not, yeah, that's a tough loss if you're a Charlotte fan. Montreal is currently 13th in the Eastern Conference and out of the playoff picture. They have 27 points. And Montreal surprising the heck out of Charlotte and getting that victory and kind of forcing Charlotte into maybe not having home field. Charlotte with 53 points, NYCFC with 56. Both of these squads have played 32 games. They need some help. Charlotte at this point needs some help with teams losing in order to get back into that top 4 slate. So that's kind of going around the Supporter Shield action and the Eastern and Western Conference action in the MLS. Inter Miami, though, with those 2 games in hand, still in solid positioning to finish in the top 4. Inter Miami currently already in the top 4 in the Eastern Conference and still needing to play 2 more games. Now, they will make up a game tonight. After tonight, they will only have 1 more game to make up until they get to the final 2 weeks of the MLS season. But Inter certainly in a good spot, even though they might not win the Supporter Shield, still in a great spot when it comes to seeding in playoffs and getting a top 4 seed, which will get them home field in the first round after Wild Card Weekend between the 8 and the 9 teams in the Western Conference and Eastern Conference, respectively. The Herons and Lionel Messi, I personally don't see how Messi does not win the MVP for the second year in a row. Messi has 24 goals. That's a league best, and 11 assists. And then he also has a league best in goal and assist contributions with 35. This would be the second straight year Lionel Messi would win the MVP. I really don't know who else, to be completely honest, folks, and be completely transparent. I have no idea who else the MLS would give this award to, if not Messi. This is all still with 2 games to go as well on the schedule. Messi and the Herons with 2 games to go still has Lionel Messi as the top scorer and top 3 in assists. So the top assist leader is Anders Dreyer with 16. Messi is in third with 11. And then goal and assist contributions, Messi is 4 clear of the next player in Anders Dreyer. 35 from Messi, 31 for Anders Dreyer. So give Dreyer some credit. He's having a great year in San Diego, but he is by no means the MVP. It'd be a disgrace, in my opinion, by the MLS for them not to give Lionel Messi his second MVP award in how many years. And if you're into it, I love this statistic, and I do like the website FotMob. Lionel Messi has the highest FotMob rating per game out of any player within the MLS with 8.37. Let's take a look at a couple of other fixtures going on around Major League Soccer coming up on October 4th. That is the next game week. Is October 4th, this coming Saturday. Montreal and Nashville, DC United and Charlotte, Dallas and Galaxy, our Herons and the Revolution. That's going to be a 7 o'clock pregame start this coming Saturday. Red Bulls in Cincinnati, Orlando City and Crew, the Union and NYCFC. Remember, the Union got to win 2 games in a row to win the Supporter Shield. If they win their final 2, they win the Supporter Shield. Austin FC and St. Louis, the Fire in Toronto, Dynamo in San Diego, Minnesota and Sporting, Real Salt Lake and the Rapids, and then wrapping things up are the Sounders and Portland. So Inter Miami, the only team that is playing midweek action because they got to catch up on these fixtures, hence the Tuesday start. Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll continue coverage of Inter Miami as we're leading you up all the way to the start of our Inter Miami Herons taking on the Chicago Fire. Let's get you your starting lineups. Starting lineups brought to you by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. It's going to be a 4-4-2 for the Herons tonight. Oscar Ustari in net. Jordi Alba, Gonzalo Luan, Toto Aviles, and Marcelo Weigant, your defenders. In the midfield, Telasco Segovia, Sergio Busquets, Yannick Bright, and Rodrigo De Paul. And the 2 strikers up top, Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. The Chicago Fire starters, they're going with a 3-4-3 under Coach Greg Berhalter. In goal, you got Brady. The 3 defenders, Waterman, Elliott, and Gutman. The midfielders, Kouame, Diavia, Franco, and Bamba. And then the attackers up top, Haile Selassie, Kuipers, and Dean. Kuipers on the year, leading goal scorer with 14. But I will note on the bench is Philip Zinkernagel, and he has 14 goals and 10 assists on the year. So Philip Zinkernagel, another really good player for the Fire who you're probably going to see come onto the pitch at some point. Taking a timeout. When we come back, more of your Inter Miami Radio Network.
Putting the ball behind the keeper takes lots and lots and lots of tireless work that leads to something brilliant. It's the same with PNC Bank. They take a smart, practical approach with your money so you can score brilliant financial goals. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. Visit pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985 and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
I'm loud, proud, and obsessed with champions. The Panthers, back-to-back Stanley Cup winners. South Florida hockey just got a whole lot hotter. Now you can hear the Florida Panthers on ESPN 106.3 and the new ESPN South Florida app. We're going top shelf every night this season. Hit the horn.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
It's Tina. You know how important it is to keep your car running. And when it comes to my car, I only trust St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been taking care of South Florida for over 50 years, and they're still family-owned. Need new tires? They've got all the big brands. Battery issues? They've got it. Cars, trucks, boats, RVs, and even commercial fleets. And if you ever get stuck, their 24/7 roadside emergency service is a total lifesaver. Go see my friends at St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. They'll keep you going.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here, football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Hey guys, Mike Rizzo here. I know you're moving soon. Don't stress it. Call Good Greek for your total relocation solution. From packing and storage to local and long-distance moves, Spiro and his team at Good Greek Moving and Storage has you covered from start to finish. Trusted by families, businesses, and teams like the Heat and the Hurricanes for over 2 decades. Make your next move simple, safe, and stress-free.
Good Greek Moving and Storage. Your superhero movers.
The season is kicking off. Keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8-star rating, EDS is trusted as the MVP, and it has been since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Kick off your game day comfort and don't sweat the small stuff.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the Inter Miami pregame show. Here's Mike Rizzo.
So our Herons are in the box. Jordi Alba, near side box, crosses it in, looking for Suarez. Goal! It found Allende instead. What a pass by Jordi Alba! The lid is lifted in the 45th minute. Tadio Allende finding the back of the net for our Herons in their most recent fixture against Toronto. It resulted in a 1-1 draw, but our Herons back in action tonight, Chase Stadium. And Ken LaVicka, voicing the Inter Miami Herons, is back on the call tonight. Now, I wanted to get you lineups again. Inter Miami with a 4-4-2. The Fire with a 3-4-3. Let's start with our Herons. Oscar Ustari in the net. Jordi Alba, Gonzalo Luan, Toto Aviles, Marcelo Wagon are your defenders. Telasco Segovia, Sergio Busquets, Yannick Bright, and Rodrigo De Paul are in the midfield. And the two strikers up top, Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. So Messi in, and certainly a strong lineup from our Herons as they are still technically in that supporter shield race. I've been mentioning all Inter Miami pregame show long that they do not control their own destiny and that it is actually Philadelphia. If they win their next two, the Union will be hoisting the supporter shield this year. But Inter Miami with 2 games, if the Union drop a game, Inter Miami will be back in the conversation. The 2 matchups for Philadelphia, NYCFC, and Charlotte coming up. The Chicago Fire starting lineup tonight in their 3-4-3. In goal, you have Brady, and their defenders are Waterman, Elliott, and Gutman. The midfielders are Bamba, Franco, Diavia, and Kouamani. So, and then the 3 attackers up top, Dean Cupers and Haile Selassie. Cupers with 17 goals on the year. He is who they like to find the back of the net. And then on the bench for Chicago, Philip Zinkernagel, who has 4 goals and 10 assists on the year. Expecting to see Zinkernagel at some point tonight. As far as reserve players for Inter Miami, Rocco Rios Novo, Ian Frey, Maxi Falcone, Noah Allen, Ryan Saylor, Baltasar Rodriguez, Santiago Morales, Tadio Allende, and Fafa Pico. Those are the attackers for the reserves, for Inter Miami tonight. The 2 players out due to injury, Alan Abando and Davi Ruiz. Abando with that nagging hamstring injury that just won't go away for the poor young man. And then Davi Ruiz injured his hamstring on international duty for Honduras. And Matteo Silvetti is on international duty at the U20 World Cup representing Argentina on the U20 side. So no Silvetti tonight in the lineup as well. Let's take our final timeout of the Inter Miami pregame show. Folks, when we return, we are taking you pitch side to the voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken LaVicka. I like to think it'll be a 7:38, 7:39 kickoff tonight. I'm still expecting a 7:41 kickoff, but this is part of my test to see exactly when kickoff is going to be. The last couple of matches have been closer to 7:40, but regardless, you're going to be hearing from Ken LaVicka on your Inter Miami Radio Network, the voice of the Herons, coming up next to his pitch side for the Herons and the Fire in South Florida. Our OG on-site producer, Oscar Gonzalez, also there too. This is your Inter Miami Radio Network. Everyone enjoy the first half. I will talk to you guys coming up at halftime on the Inter Miami Radio Network.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Not all moves reflect your lifestyle. At Safebound Luxury, we provide white glove services tailored for high-end homes, fine art, and designer furnishings. Our expert team ensures every piece is packed, transported, and placed with precision and care. If you're relocating a residence that deserves more than a basic move, schedule your private consultation today at safeboundluxury.com to experience the difference. This isn't just a move. This is the art of moving.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for this special presentation of Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 106.3. Now let's get to the pitch.
Oh, it's a cannon shot. Go ahead and give him the goal of the week.
Here's Ken LaVicka.
Home stretch of the 2025 regular season. 4 games left for Inter Miami. And after a disappointing draw in Toronto, Inter Miami looking to get back on the front foot against a side that they drew against all the way back in April. It is Inter Miami back in South Florida taking on Chicago Fire here on the Inter Miami.
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener, while others will just read about the match.
Rizzo,
your laser
Network
focus.
Studios in West Palm Beach. Inter Miami 1, Toronto 1 on Saturday. We're about to kick off here in South Florida. Let's go through the 11s one more time. Inter Miami has Oscar Ustari in goal, a back line of Jordi Alba, Gonzalo Lujan, Tomas Aviles, and Marcelo Wegan. In the midfield, Velasco Segovia, Sergio Busquets, Yannick Bright, Rodrigo De Paul, and up top 2 forwards, Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. For Chicago in goal, Chris Brady, Andrew Gutman, Jack Elliott, Joel Waterman, the back 3. Then Myron Haile Selassie, Andre Franco, Jet Davila, and Jonathan Dean in the midfield, followed by Jonathan Bamba, as well as Romani Komame and Hugo Kuipers. Those are your 11s. Inter Miami in their home pink, head to toe with black lettering, numbering, and trim. Meanwhile, Chicago Fire in their light baby blues and their black lettering, numbering, and trim. And you have to go all the way back to April the 13th, when Inter Miami went to a sold-out Soldier Field in Chicago, and these two sides played to a 0-0 draw. There were vast portions of that contest where Inter Miami was outplayed. Inter Miami put only 3 shots on target, and Chris Brady, the young 21-year-old, was equal to the task every single time. Meanwhile, Oscar Ustari faced a barrage of shots, especially in the second half. 7 of them for the game, and he was able to keep the clean sheet. And Inter Miami and Chicago will do it for a final time here in 2025, barring anything that may take place in the postseason. There are major ramifications for both of these sides, and we'll get to those in just a moment. It'll be Chicago Fire to possess for the first time on this Tuesday night. Our referee is Alan Chapman, and he looks on, and we await his whistle, and there it is. We are underway on a Tuesday night. Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami taking on Chicago Fire. And Chicago already in the attacking third. And Inter Miami's going to win the ball back out of the back. Inter Miami, 16 victories, 6 defeats, 8 draws on the season. 4th in the East, 56 points in the table. Chicago, 14 wins, 11 losses, and 6 draws, 48 points. They are 9th in the East. And if Chicago wins tonight, they are in the postseason for the first time since 2017, and they will end North American professional sports' longest playoff streak, New York Red Bulls, who have made it every year since 2010, 15 straight, and that will come to an end. And then, true irony, the New York Jets would be one of the teams that moved into the top 3 in North American professional sports in playoff droughts. Right across the river, New York Red Bulls play. Sports Illustrated Stadium in Harrison, New Jersey. Chicago Fire, they come in clean sheeting opponents for the last 180 minutes. A 3-0 triumph at Minnesota, and then a 2-0 victory at home against Columbus. Those are 2 really strong teams to pitch clean sheets against. as we are 90 seconds in, and Inter Miami works in its left defensive midfield. Tomas Aviles, a rare start for Inter Miami. He is the right back, and he will possess behind the midfield in the defensive half. And now Inter Miami in the Chicago Fire half. Rodrigo de Paul with a very heavy touch as Inter Miami was entering the right attacking third. And the ball makes its way for the first time to the 21-year-old goalkeeper, Chris Brady. But Inter Miami, due to some pressure from DePaul, will have a throw-in in the right attacking third near touchline. Marcelo Wagon, who came on as a substitute in Toronto for Ian Frey, throws it in. Inter Miami retreats. Still in the Chicago Fire half, but near the midfield, left of the midfield circle. Alba sweeps the ball to DePaul, middle channel, 30 yards away. Now Busquets surveys onto his right foot, short range pass to DePaul. Square ball to Jordi Alba on the far left touchline. That's a strong ball, good touchdown for Alba. Now Telasco Segovia left of the box. He retreats momentarily. Now Alba and Segovia 1-2. Segovia tried to backheel it through traffic to a cutting Alba, but it was won by Chicago. Inter Miami wins it back, and a whistle and a foul against Chicago. It was Yannick Bright going to ground, and Inter Miami's going to have its first set piece. Just a little bit too physical from Romanique Kouame. Kouame, a Mali international, on loan from Cadiz of La Liga 2, second division Spanish soccer. So off the restart, right of the midfield circle, it's Busquets, but then actually that was Aviles, and then Busquets is called for a foul. And it was Kouame who went to ground for Chicago. Just over 3 minutes expired. Inter Miami and Chicago Fire. It has been slow and measured to this point. Yes, Inter Miami's draw at Toronto was frustrating. 1-1, Inter Miami conceding at the hour mark, unable to find the back of the net as Lionel Messi was stymied over and over again. But if you would believe it, Inter Miami still in projected points is the favorite for the Supporters' Shield. No, they don't control their own destiny, but the projected point total for Inter Miami is just under 66, and that makes them still the favorite to win the Supporters' Shield for a second straight year. Inter Miami is going to have a throw-in in their defensive half near touchline. Marcelo Wagon about midway from his own box to the midfield stripe. These two teams can score, and they can do it in bunches. Inter Miami leads Major League Soccer with 65 goals for. Chicago, meanwhile, 59 on the season. That's tied for third in the league. Now, Inter Miami's conceded 47 times. Not great, tied for 13th in the league. Just above the average line in Major League Soccer. Chicago has leaked goals at times this year. 53 of them, tied for 8th most in MLS. Inter Miami, right attacking third. Segovia as he got to the upper left, a saving slide tackle by the center back, Jack Elliott. What a wonderful play from the captain for Chicago. It looked like it was a sure thing goal opportunity for Inter Miami, and instead, sweeping it away was Elliott, and it'll be Chicago with a defensive third throw in right side of the pitch. Oh, that was nearly magical from Inter Miami, but unable to play Segovia through at the last moment. Inter Miami will possess the ball back right after the Chicago throw-in. Good pressing early from Inter Miami. Here's Busquets left to the midfield circle. He's going to send the ball out wide. Far left touchline. Albo plays it into the middle, Inter Miami's own half. Midfield circle for DePaul. DePaul lays it off, shuffles it off to Aviles, and now near side to far side, charging forward. Busquets finds Bright on the left flank. He's 30 yards out. Now Alba far touchline, sends it back to Bright, left of the box. Bright holds up play. Bright step over. Bright upper left, and he was able to find Segovia after a quick Chicago touch, and Inter Miami's going to reset 30 yards away. Middle channel, Busquets into the 6th minute. No score, Inter Miami and Chicago Fire. They played 0-0 just shy of mid-April in the Windy City. And now Inter Miami's going to have to reset. They are deep in their own attacking half. Now coming forward, left wing. Here is Inter Miami with Gonzalo Lujan. 40 yards away now on the inside right channel. Yannick Bright wanted to force a ball to Rodrigo to Paul. That was denied, but then good hustle from Yannick Bright to push the ball back to Tomas Aviles. And here we go again with Inter Miami. Inter Miami's back line tonight, Jordi Alba, Gonzalo Lujan, Tomas Aviles, and Marcelo Wegan. A poor touch by Segovia in the attacking midfield. Chicago trying to hit on the counter. Yannick Bright snuffs that out, as we've seen so many times this season, and he is going to roll the ball back to his own penalty arc. And Oscar Ustari in all yellow tonight. Inter Miami goalkeeper will get Inter Miami back out on the attack. Inter Miami being patient with the ball. Inter Miami, 9 home victories this year. That's tied for 6th in the league. Here's a long ball forward. Segovia could not get on the end of it as Aviles decided to give it a shot. And then a mishandle from Chris Brady in the lower left of his box, and he almost handled the ball outside the area along the end line. That was close, and he at the last moment pushed the ball across the far touchline, and Inter Miami with a deep throw in, and now they're going to play it back into the midfield circle. Boy, oh boy, that was dicey, and Inter Miami almost got a gift. Here's Lionel Messi, his very first touch, if you'd believe it, tonight. Oh, beautiful slicing ball. Lower left box, and not quite able to link up with Jordi Alba, who was charging hard. Ambitious and nearly as accurate as you could humanly be from Lionel Messi, who was 40 yards from goal, about 10 yards away from the near touchline, and almost had Alba completely on the other side of the pitch, and he was moving towards the end line. We welcome you to 8 minutes expired in the first half. Greg Berhalter, Chicago first-year manager, looks on. Former U.S. men's national team boss, 6 years in charge of the American side. And a steal, Yannick Bright, Inter Miami, into the right Chicago half. Rodrigo to Paul, good touch, middle channel. Makes the turn to his left. Now Segovia nearly left the ball behind. He has it left flank. Charges upper left. Now Alba left to the box. He's going to float a ball into the penalty arc, and it was picked off by Chicago. Jed Davila is able to win the ball back for Chicago. And then a sliding play for Chicago to win the ball back, and now look out. Chicago on the charge. Here's Bamba, headed towards the upper left. Jonathan Bamba lays it off. Here's Haile Selassie into the middle, and what a save! Ustari point blank with a left foot, and a shot from outside the box is deflected by Inter Miami, and it goes out of play across the end line, left side of Ustari's goal. How did Ustari stop that? What buildup from Chicago. Bamba, an overlapping run to Haile Selassie. It was laid off by Jonathan Dean. Back on to Bamba, just outside the 6-yard box, and Ustari with a left leg was able to stifle that Bamba shot. And Inter Miami fortunate, all things considered, to keep this 0-0 as we approach 10 minutes gone. A highly skilled attacking Chicago side, and we saw it for the first time tonight. It'll be a near side to far side, left pitch corner for Chicago. And this is whipped to the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's headed in. It's a goal for Inter Miami. Unmarked, Jed Davila. He's able to beat Ustari just inside the near left post. Chicago deserved a goal moments earlier, and then Chicago gets its goal. Inter Miami concedes on the set piece. 1-0, Chicago Fire, just past the 10-minute mark. Oh, goodness. For Jed Davila, it is his second goal of the season. The 22-year-old has put Chicago on top 1-0. And man, that marking was really, really poor. Yannick Bright, Tomas Aviles just standing as Davila cut in front of them. He was point blank. He was right in front of the goal. So Chicago grabs the lead early. Inter Miami still with plenty of strong supporters' shield hopes, but they cannot drop points at home against the 9th place side in the Eastern Conference. Inter Miami felt so good after that 4-0 beating of NYCFC, but things seem a little bit uneasy again. Drawing at Toronto and now down 1-0 at home to Chicago. Just past 10 minutes gone. 11.5 minutes on the clock. Inter Miami in the Chicago half, right side of the pitch. Oh, great job by Busquets to juggle through 3 defenders. Now Messi heading towards the upper left, lays off a ball. Alba left of the box. He tried to cross it. It floats over everybody, and along the right end line the chase is on. Weygott couldn't win it, and now Chicago in its right defensive third will have possession. Now a square ball near side to far side. Chicago on the run again. It's played through. Bamba behind the defense. Bamba into the upper left. Bamba to his right foot. Bamba upper portion of the box, and he slid down at the last moment and simply swiped the ball to Ustari with no pace. Finally, Rodrigo de Paul got back and altered Bamba's charge forward. Man, Inter Miami is really playing with some fire right now. No pun intended. This is troublesome for Inter Miami. They're being track meted early. They have got to cinch it up, and this back line has been no match early on for Chicago's high flyers. Bamba, Kuipers, Kouame, not to mention Jad Davila. He is the goal scorer. Chicago 1, Inter Miami 0. So Inter Miami is going to stay stuck on 5 clean sheets this season. That came into tonight, tied for 6th least in Major League Soccer. It has been a rare occurrence, Inter Miami holding a team to 0. Inter Miami bodies hitting the ground. Yannick Bright, as the referee briefly allowed play to continue on. Inter Miami lost possession, so the whistle blows, and the foul is called against Chicago. About 40 yards from goal, Inter Miami in the right attacking half. Quick restart, Busquets. Now left flank, Bright to the left wing. Alba sends a ball to the middle portion, the middle channel just outside the penalty arc. And Suarez wanted to play through Segovia and mishit it, and it rolled on to Chicago goalkeeper Chris Brady, who is sporting black tonight. Brady, close quarters. Messi was charging after the ball in the 6-yard box, and Brady at the last moment distributed outside the left portion of his box. Brady has been a little bit nervy tonight for Chicago. Inter Miami is going to try and take advantage. Jonathan Bamba back in the defensive half for Chicago, and now some room to operate for Chicago Fire. Haile Selassie coming from the near left touchline, gets himself left wing. Now he tried to roll a ball left side of the box. He was waiting for Kuipers. He and his 17 goals to make a horizontal run, but Kuipers flat-footed. I think he believed he was offside. And Inter Miami will get back on the ball. Inter Miami promptly watches Chicago win the ball back in their midfield circle, and it is played all the way back to Chris Brady in his own penalty arc. Inter Miami 5 changes from the draw at Toronto on Saturday, including Weygott in for Ian Frey, Tomas Aviles giving Maxi Falcone a spell, Velasco Segovia replacing Baltasar Rodriguez, Yannick Bright replacing Tadeo Allende. Now again, Chicago left attacking half, near left touchline. Bamba, great pace, and finally Busquets able to cut him off, and Chicago plays it back to its attacking half left of the midfield circle, and briefly back into their own end. Jack Elliott, the 30-year-old captain, in his 31st match of the season for Chicago. And now it's sent to Andrew Gutman, the left back. 3-man back line for Chicago tonight. Brady finds the ball at his feet, Chicago's goalkeeper. And Chicago still with this 1-0 advantage. Just shy of 16 minutes gone. Yannick Bright is still in the right attacking third. Messi, quick ball onto Alba. Alba chips a ball, wanted Suarez just outside the penalty arc, headed away by Chicago Fire, but Inter Miami retains possession thanks to Sergio Busquets. Far side to near side, ground level ball, Bright to Weygott. Wagon looks in. Wagon wants to play through Messi. Messi laid it off penalty arc and just wide. Luis Suarez. He was picking out the right post and he put it a foot wide into the sponsor boards. There was nobody around him. He had all the time in the world to pick his spot. It was a beautiful, beautiful red carpet pass from Messi, and Suarez puts it off the mark. Inter Miami could have easily made it level in the 16th minute. Suarez puts his hands on his head in disbelief. But Inter Miami back at it in the defensive midfield. On the near side, now just outside the midfield, Tomas Aviles, and now Lujan. Jordi Alba, after a pass that was blistered from Lujan. Alba did well to play it down, and now Yannick Bright in the attacking midfield, left of the midfield circle. Aviles charges forward, attacking midfield O. Short range pass to the left, Yannick Bright. Bright's going to spray to the outside, Lujan. Lujan, Segovia, left wing. Got the ball onto his head, and then he knifes it away from a Chicago defender, and Inter Miami's going to send it to the near side. Busquets into the middle, Messi, 35 yards out. Messi had a pass intended for Segovia denied, but it rolls back to Marcelo Wagon, back heeling his way through two defenders, but then finally it is swiped by Davila, the Chicago goal scorer. And Chicago back in possession. A fight for it in the defensive midfield for Chicago. And maintaining possession is Kouame. But then a turnover. Jordi Alba. Inter Miami has numbers. Plays it. Wanted Messi in the penalty arc. Messi still chasing in the 6-yard box. It fell to Messi. And from a tough angle, he got a right foot on it, but a foul is called on Lionel Messi as Joel Waterman was trying to box him out. The referee says Messi went over his back. That's a tough call. So the foul against Messi and Brady. A free kick just beyond his own 6-yard box. Another bad turnover. DePaul to Suarez. Wanted Yannick Bright, who got upended to the right of the penalty arc. This might be a card. It's going to be a free kick for Inter Miami just outside the box. Even with the near post, Yannick Bright got absolutely upended, kicked from behind, went airborne, and cartwheeled down to the ground. Bright can't believe there's not a card from the referee, Alan Chapman. I can't believe there's not a card from the referee, Alan Chapman. This was a violent, violent foul. And that was Davila, who just prattled into him. Well, we know who's taking this. Lionel Messi. This will be from 22 yards out to the right of the penalty D, and this is even with the near post. Messi eyes the upper left as he sets the ball. Dangerous free kick territory. This is the exact same spot that he nailed a free kick against Nashville here at Chase Stadium earlier in the regular season. He went low on that shot. Is he going to try and do the same and get the wall to jump, or is he going to try and curl it to the upper portion of goal? Messi looks on to the right of the penalty arc. A 22-yard free kick attempt with Inter Miami trailing 1-0 in the 19th minute. Messi gets the whistle. Messi looks towards goal. Messi, left foot. Messi put it right on Brady. He wanted the lower left, and Brady on a knee caught it into his chest. Inter Miami on target for the first time tonight, but Messi could not find an open portion of goal. And it remains 1-0 Chicago. And a long, long deep ball from Brady. That was chested down by Tomas Aviles, about 25 yards from his own goal. That was good control from Aviles. And then Lujan blasts the ball far side to near side for Aviles to come forward into the defensive midfield. Left side of this natural surface at Chase Stadium. Our kickoff temperature, by the way, was 83 degrees. It has been comfortable for the most part today in South Florida, all things considered, with it being late September. Inter Miami nearly gave the ball away in their attacking half. Alba couldn't corral a pass, but over to help the cause for Inter Miami was Gonzalo Lujan. Now defensive half, Busquets. Right of the midfield circle. Will send it to the opposite side of the midfield over Lujan. And now Rodrigo de Paul. Been a while since he had a touch. He's right on the midfield stripe. And now he's going to lay it briefly into the defensive half for Aviles on to Busquets. Busquets, Bright, short range, could not connect. And Bamba has it for Chicago. He rolls it beyond Andrew Gutman deep into his defensive third to the right of the box. Chicago with Bamba. He sends a great ball near side to far side. And a lot of room now for Joel Waterman. Waterman looking for a target. Coming up the far right touchline, Gonzalo Lujan earns a throw-in at the border of Inter Miami's left defensive third. So Inter Miami trails 1-0. We have crossed the 22-minute threshold. 20 first half away goals on the year for Chicago. That is first in Major League Soccer. They have been robust away from Soldier Field. Rodrigo de Paul attacking midfield near right side. Good job to get through traffic, and Inter Miami will have Yannick Bright play it back in Inter Miami's own half for Gonzalo Lujan. Back to de Paul. Attacking midfield. Lofts the ball near side. Weigand heads it on to Messi, who's playing deep in the midfield. Messi, high, cutting ball, left box, Alba, and it's headed out of play, left end line for Chicago. Messi asking some questions from distance, and Inter Miami has its first corner of the night, presented by Ludlow, Ryder Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, representing injured people and their families for more than 35 years. Visit foryourrights.com. Rodrigo de Paul. No, it's not Rodrigo de Paul in that far corner. This is Jordi Alba. Is he going to go short or deliver it in? He's going to swipe it outside the upper left. Bright touches it down. Now Messi outside the penalty arc. A shot never got through. And then it is bounced back into the box. And then Busquets took a boot to the head in the penalty arc. And a free kick is awarded for Inter Miami. From 20 yards away, straight on direct free kick coming for Inter Miami. Second glorious free kick opportunity coming for Lionel Messi. Kuipers caught Busquets in the head. Well, actually, he got caught left portion of his, well, buttocks. And then he pretended as if it hit him in the temple. That's just veteran guile from the soon-to-be-retired Sergio Busquets. Inter Miami will take it down 1-0. Into the 24th minute. De Paul and Messi stand over this free kick. It's at the top of the penalty arc. This is straight on for Lionel Messi. Chicago sets the wall. It's a four-man wall. Near the far post, left post is Chris Brady, the Chicago goalkeeper. Messi, left foot into it. It's blocked away by Chicago. Right into the head of Davila, but Inter Miami back at it. De Paul sends a ball right box. It's across in front of the goal, across the face of goal, Alba, but the flag is up, and it's an offside against Inter Miami. And Alba was just barely by a head offside. Coming to the far post was Bright. That's who Alba was trying to pick out. It wouldn't have mattered with the flag up. So we are into the 25th minute. Chicago with the 1-0 lead. The 10th minute tally, courtesy of Jed Davila on a header from a corner kick. Inter Miami battling in its own defensive half. They're going to win possession again. Inter Miami has absolutely dominated possession, but they got hit on a set piece. Jordi Alba. He meanders into the right attacking half, left wing. There's a pass back into the middle. Jordi Alba. Alba to the near right side of Weigand. Lays it off to Paul about 35 yards away. DePaul heads to the middle. Channel sends a square ball Segovia. It's been quiet for Segovia tonight. One touch from Suarez. Back to Bright. Straight on 35 yards from goal. Bright and Busquets briefly back and forth to one another. And now Tomas Aviles from the right wing. He curls in a ball up and over the head of Suarez, who's going to allow Segovia to retrieve left of the box. Inter Miami back in business. Suarez on to Alba. Alba's outside the upper left. Messi wanted to play through Suarez. It was cleared by Chicago, but a right to Sergio Busquets. Still in the attack in midfield. Now back in the right attacking third. DePaul played through, and Messi just didn't quite have the timing. And Chris Brady, the Chicago Fire goalkeeper, scoops up the ball. That was about a second away from Messi being 1v1 with the keeper. And it'll be a defensive half, right side of the pitch throw-in for Chicago after Gutman bandied the ball off of Rodrigo DePaul and his chrome hair. Good crowd for a Tuesday night. Not a sellout, but everybody is spread out evenly throughout this facility. If all goes as planned, this will be the first of the final 3 games. Inter Miami will call Chase Stadium home. Looking to move into Freedom Park next year. And in Miami-Dade County. Chicago will win a throw-in in its defensive midfield after some good work by Hugo Kuipers. Kuipers has been so good for Chicago this season. The native of Belgium, 17 goals, 2 assists. And Inter Miami wins it again in its right attacking third. Chicago sloppy with the ball. Far left touchline, left of the box, Segovia. Now, straight on, just outside the area, Messi sends a right wing to Paul, and DePaul, not a good pass at all as Segovia was lurking in the box. DePaul has just struggled for Inter Miami since the Leagues Cup. He's still trying to get adjusted to MLS play. It's more physical. He looks tired. And his touch has just not been there. Coming off of his work with Atletico Madrid in the FIFA Club World Cup. Good job by Marcelo Wacon at the midfield stripe to win a floated ball that Chicago was trying to work into the attacking half. Busquets bananas the ball to Jordi Alba, far left touchline. Alba looking for Wacon, right box, nothing doing. Messi able to keep the play alive to DePaul. Now Busquets, Messi, DePaul outside the upper left. And a poor touch allows Andrew Gutman of Chicago to whip the ball away. Tomas Aviles working hard to try and keep it. He kept it in play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Chicago from the near touchline. Inter Miami thought that they had won a throw-in in the Chicago half. Tomas Aviles, though, I mean, he's chugging away. Long ball. Defensive half to attacking half, Chicago. And unable to get there was Marouane Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie was a problem for Inter Miami in the second half in that April 13th match at Soldier Field. Nearly scored as he got behind the Inter Miami defense, but he was off the mark on a short-range shot. If this scoreline stands, Chicago 1, Inter Miami 0. Inter Miami takes not quite a fatal blow, but close to it in their supporter shield hopes. Meanwhile, Chicago would be in its first MLS playoff since 2017. Segovia holding off a defender, attacking half and a defensive half, and now plays Inter Miami back into the Chicago end. DePaul to the midfield strike, Busquets. Busquets handles with his right foot, gives it off to Paul. He's going to roll it to Lujan. Far left touchline. Inter Miami still 40 yards out, right attacking half. DePaul's going to scoop it back to Lujan. Inter Miami trails at the half-hour mark, 1-0. Glad you're with us on this Tuesday night. Busquets from the midfield circle didn't get enough on a long ball, wanted Messi, and Chicago easily possesses, and Bamba makes a turn in the defensive third, and somehow a pass found its way back to Bamba. And now the race is on the counter. Look out, right box. Here is a cross, and it's past Ustari. In fact, it was banded off Ustari by Jonathan Dean, and Chicago's open up a 2-0 lead in the 30th minute. The Inter Miami defense absolutely roared by, flat-footed on the left side. Lujan lost track of the attacker, and Dean 1v1 with Ustari, put it off the keeper. He got a touch, but there was immense pace on that shot from Dean. And Inter Miami is in a heap of trouble in the first half. A listless defensive opening 30 from Inter Miami. The Herons have owned possession, but Chicago out on the run twice, and Inter Miami with the breakdown. Lujan was nowhere to be found, and then he just held up as Dean approached Ustari. Oh, this is bad news for Inter Miami. Right between the legs of Oscar Ustari on that Dean goal. And Javier Mascherano has the look of a man who is wondering what in the world is happening to my side after taking care of business emphatically at Citi Field. Messi up the middle channel. Messi ripped down 25 yards away as he was trying to charge forward, and our first card of the night is handed out. That's an easy card from our referee, Alan Chapman. It's Bamba who's given the card. This is a bit too far away for Messi to try an attempted goal. It's a good 30-plus yards away. Direct free kick. Now, Inter Miami and its back line has fallen victim to the speed on the wings, especially of Chicago. Messi lobs it to the 6-yard box, and Suarez couldn't get a head on it. He was in the vicinity, as was Gonzalo Lujan, and nobody got a touch, and a one-hop onto the Chicago keeper, Chris Brady. Couple of good runs on that far left post as Messi hung it up there for a teammate. But Suarez couldn't get the lift on his jump, and Lujan wasn't quite there. Inter Miami's got to get desperate here. Chicago's going to have a throw in deep in its defensive third in the near corner. Messi thought he won Inter Miami a throw-in. He is unhappy as he talks to the official with the flag on the near side. So Chicago's going to throw it in, try and make the long journey forward. Messi concedes another throw-in for Chicago. Still Chicago in its own half. Frustration starting to boil over here for Lionel Messi as Javier Mascherano talks with his assistant coaches, trying to formulate a plan. Already down 2-0. Inter Miami, 9 halftime leads this season at home, tied for second in MLS. Certainly doesn't look like, unless something miraculous happens, there's going to be a 10th. A +12 first half home goal differential, second in Major League Soccer for Inter Miami coming into tonight. That's down to +10. This 2-0 Chicago scoreline. A corner conversion for Jed Davila, and then Jonathan Dean simply just ran all the way down the pitch and beat the Inter Miami defense from the right wing and put the ball through the legs of Oscar Ustari. Inter Miami in the Chicago half. Messi wanted to sweep a ball onto Busquets, tackled away by Haile Selassie, and now look out! Kuipers is behind the defense. Kuipers outside the upper left, into the upper left. Kuipers right foot penalty arc. Feeds it right side, it is played through and hitting it wide along the near post to the far post across the face of goal. Haile Selassie just off the mark. It was nearly 3 for Chicago. Oh my goodness. Looks like the flag was up though. It was an offside against Chicago, but still, this is not sustainable. It already isn't. It's 2-0 Chicago. Inter Miami trying to rush forward. Segovia, left flank. Now middle channel, Messi. Inter Miami in its attacking midfield. Bright into the midfield circle for Busquets. Right back to the left of the midfield O for Bright in the Chicago half. 35 minutes gone. Chicago fired 2, Inter Miami 0. Chicago hasn't conceded in 2 minutes and 214, I should say, consecutive minutes. And if they pull off 3 straight clean sheets at Minnesota, against Columbus, and at Inter Miami, maybe the best defensive stretch Chicago has had in over a decade. Inter Miami right now, just not a lot of connectivity in the attacking third. Short-range passing has not yielded anything. You don't want to just rely on Messi heroics, but it might come to that. Bamba wanted to turn the corner along the midfield stripe, tucked against that near left touchline. He was trying to high wire it, but couldn't keep the ball in play. DePaul. Inter Miami defensive half in the midfield circle. Now Weigott briefly into the attacking half. He has it near touchline. Swipes a ball towards the box. Played down. And attempting to lay it off for Messi was Suarez, but he never got a good touch on it. And the ball has to go retrieve in Inter Miami's own half. It is pretty quiet here at Chase Stadium. Not a whole lot to cheer about. Only one shot on target for Inter Miami. Chicago almost got back into the Inter Miami half, but good, strong play by Telasco Segovia in the midfield. And Inter Miami right attacking third, far side. Looking for Suarez in the box was Olba. Weigott was there, into the box to Paul, chests it down, and he sends a shot from 11 yards wide of the left post. Oh, that was wonderfully played into the area by Inter Miami. Chicago couldn't clear. Weigott perfectly set up to Paul, and he swiped it wide with his right foot. Now, what I will say is that it certainly looked like DePaul controlled with his left arm. So even if DePaul scores there, almost certainly that would have gone to VAR. Well, the bad news, Inter Miami's down 2-0. The good news, we're only in the 38th minute. But back to bad news, Inter Miami just does not have anything of real danger in scoring areas here tonight. And when they have, whether it's Lionel Messi free kick that Brady saved or Luis Suarez straight on off the mark, just has not been successful. Jordi Alba sends it to the left wing. Suarez plays left box Segovia. Segovia floats a ball to Weigott, who could not get a head on it, top of the 6-yard box, but it is cleared away by Gutman of Chicago across the end line. It'll be an Inter Miami near side to far side corner, presented by Lotto Ryder Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, representing injured people and their families. More than 35 years, visit foryourrights.com. Messi, who attempted his 9th Olympico of the season at Toronto Saturday. Let's see what he tries to cook up here. Inter Miami in desperate need of something to go their way, down 2-0, getting late in the first half. Messi looks on. Messi, left foot, floats it towards the near post, and the ball's still loose in the 6-yard box, and Inter Miami scores! Tomas Aviles, amongst all sorts of humanity, in the right 6-yard box, found it ball to his right foot, and he blasted it through a score of lower limbs, and it beats Brady, whose vision, who was shielded. Tomas Aviles, his second goal of the season. Did Inter Miami ever need that? Game on! Chicago Fire 2, Inter Miami 1. And it looks like that went off of a Chicago player, and it sure did. I believe that was Jed Davila who deflected the ball into his own net. Aviles is still going to be credited with the goal. But how about Davila? He has a goal for his team, and he contributed to a goal for Inter Miami. 40th minute, 2-1. Inter Miami back within a goal. The referee waited to see if VAR wanted to chat. VAR says, we're good, let's play on. And Inter Miami pulls one back. Here's Chicago in its own defensive midfield. Inter Miami suddenly has been infused with some energy, and they're charging at Chicago in the right defensive third, and Inter Miami's going to win the ball back. DePaul wanted to play it back to Aviles, and And DePaul ends up blasting it out of bounds into the Chicago left attacking third. Near touchline throw upcoming from Myron Halasiasi. Halasiasi, he holds the ball, but he's going to let left back Andrew Gutman throw it in. Top of the box, near side, left side extended. Gutman takes a run up to the touchline, throws it into the left area, and that is right-footed out of there by Aviles, but right back to Gutman along the near left touchline. A slide for Wagon, and he wins a throw-in for Inter Miami. A quick throw-in. Busquets swiping the ball to Suarez. Oh, nifty side-footed delivery to Segovia. Segovia, right attack in half. Segovia charging forward outside the upper left. Segovia has to make the turn. Now Alba to the left of the box in an extremely heavy touch, and Andre Franco easily wins possession. Back, but Talasco Segovia wins it again, 25 yards out. Bright, middle channel. Now Messi, right flank. Messi looks on. Messi into the middle. Messi outside the penalty arc. DePaul wanted to send a one-touch back to Messi, but a foot on it from Kouame. And Chicago trying to get it out of a danger area. Here's Davila. Davila will hold up play about 35 yards from his own goal. Chicago far right touchline. And now it's played deep back into Chicago's own half right side. Goalkeeper Chris Brady had it passed on to him. He knifes it away with the right foot as far as Gutman is left back. Chicago trying desperately to find some real estate to get it out of their own half. And finally they do. And now look out. Chicago coming forward again with Bamba right up the middle. Haile now into the middle channel. Looking for runners. Haile step through into the box. Playing through and scoring is Kouame near the penalty spot. What a finish for Romani Kouame. A meltdown for Inter Miami. This back line on the counter has been abhorrent, and it's 3-1 Chicago in the 42nd minute. Tomas Aviles and Gonzalo Lujan absolutely torn apart. Well, so much for any momentum that Inter Miami had after the goal from the corner. Oh yeah, Lujan and Aviles completely messy. Alba had Kuipers marked. Aviles, though, went to go follow Kuipers. And by the time he returned to an unmarked Romani Kouame, Kouame had unleashed a right foot shot inside the right post to beat Ustari. We might see some halftime substitutions. Noah Allen, Maxi Falcone come to mind for Inter Miami. Gonzalo Lujan and Tomas Aviles have been the guilty party tonight for Inter Miami, both center backs. So now Inter Miami back down by 2 goals. And we are a mere 35 seconds from the end of the half. Oh my goodness. Inter Miami is watching the supporters' shield disappear. Aviles into the midfield circle. Busquets comes up the middle channel, 30 yards away from goal in the right attacking half. The body language for Inter Miami is really poor right now. Messi running to his right, gives it to the midfield Busquets. And we have 4 extra minutes. Presented by your local South Florida Audi dealers. Test drive the Q5 today at your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. A treacherous Tuesday night for Inter Miami. DePaul, middle channel, about 30 yards from goal. DePaul now angles to the left wing. Sends it out to Alba. Alba can't deliver across. He has to go beyond an overlapping run. Decides not to pass it to him. Now Alba, left wing Bright, tried to return it to Alba. It was deflected, and then Bright tried a pass over his head back to goal, and Alba was offside. We are nearly a minute in to an added 4. Inter Miami has dominated possession, owned possession, but Chicago, with superior athleticism and speed, first a corner goal from Jed Davila. Then it was Jonathan Dean simply running from his defensive half all the way towards Ustari and beat him between his legs. And then moments ago, Romani Koame. With Inter Miami chasing fruitlessly in pursuit. Here's Aviles. Near side, right attacking third. Aviles holds up play. Right flank, Yannick Bright now. Distributes off to Busquets. Now Messi middle channel, wasn't anticipating the pass, still got a left foot, outside foot on it, and gave it back to Busquets. In the midfield circle, Messi. Messi floats a ball left box and cannot link up with Alba again. They've tried that 3 times tonight. Chris Brady off to his right, catches it on a hop. The young Chicago goalkeeper, the homegrown product. And now Chicago trying to win the ball back again on a long ball forward, and Aviles just chops Kuipers right in the knee along the near left touchline. Tomas Aviles defensively, and I hate to say it because he works hard, but he has been a liability tonight for Inter Miami on the defensive portion of this match. And the physio is going to have to go look at Kuipers. Well, this is going to have to take a Herculean effort for Inter Miami. Let's take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves. This is Inter Miami football. Shea Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Along with Oscar Gonzalez, the OG on-site engineer, I am Ken LaVicka. And it is bad news. Chicago Fire 3, Inter Miami 1. 3 minutes into the additional 4 here at the end of the first half. Mike Rizzo back in the network studios in West Palm Beach. He'll have your halftime show. Looks like Kuipers is okay. Now a set piece from the near left touchline, about 25 yards out, handled by Haile Selassie. Now he's going to let Franco whip it in, and it was headed up and over the crossbar just outside the 6-yard area by Jack Elliott. That was too close for comfort. We're about to hit the first half whistle, and Inter Miami desperately needs it. 3-1 Chicago. A stunned crowd here in South Florida. Here's DePaul in his defensive midfield. Can't pull the trigger on a pass, has to scoop a ball to Lujan. Attacking midfield, left of the midfield circle. Now Bright straight on, just in front of that midfield O. 49-30, 49-31. We're across the 4 minutes of added time. Busquets has to roll it to Aviles, far side to near side. Now near right touchline, Weigand. 30 yards away. Inter Miami can only play it backwards. To the center circle, Lujan. Now to Paul. Time running out on Inter Miami. Busquets in the middle. Knifes a ball, right box. Weigand touches it down right foot. Weigand into the middle and was looking for a cutting DePaul, and DePaul could not put it on net. And he is extremely frustrated with himself. He's talking to himself. He just hit himself in the side of the head, and a frustrating last couple of weeks for Rodrigo DePaul coming to a head. And that's the end of the first half on a glorious Inter Miami opportunity. And the long trudge to the dressing room through 45 minutes. Chicago Fire 3, Inter Miami 1. And it is silent here at Shea Stadium. And there is a whole lot of work to do and some tactical improvement to come. And probably some replacements along the Inter Miami back line. It has been a sieve. It is a dam break in the first half here for the Inter Miami defense. Mike Rizzo, he has your halftime show from West Palm Beach. Chicago Fire 3, Inter Miami 1 at halftime. This is Inter Miami football.
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener. While others will just read about the match, you're laser focused on every detail. At PNC Bank, we get it. We're all in on helping you make smart money moves and score your financial goals. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts and Brilliantly Boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here, football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Touchdown! Racetrack is proud to support our local high school football teams. Whether it's Friday night lights or tailgate parties, Racetrack has whatever gets you going to fuel all the gridiron excitement this fall. Grab your favorite snacks, crispy chips, delicious Nathan's hot dogs, sweet treats, or our house-made pizza slices. Don't forget to quench your thirst with a variety of ice-cold drinks. Racetrack, your one-stop shop to fuel your football Fridays.
History is about to be made. For the very first time in the United States, the Pickleball World Cup comes to the Fort in Fort Lauderdale, October 27th through November 2nd. Over 3,000 athletes from more than 60 countries will battle it out across one unforgettable week. Experience world-class pickleball, plus a fun festival atmosphere packed with food trucks, fitness and wellness sessions, and live entertainment. Get your tickets now at thepickleballworldcup.com. Follow the action at Pickleball World Cup Official.
A bicycle kick is a risky move, and risky can be exciting for soccer, but not for your money. PNC Bank believes boring is better. It's the smart and steady way to manage your finances and save the excitement for all you want to do in life. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud to sponsor Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here, football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and if you love football, you're in the right place. ESPN 106.3 has it all. Thursday, it's a battle for the NFC West. The 49ers take on the Rams. Get ready to feel every hit, every drive, every game-changing moment. We go live at 7:30 here on ESPN 106.3.
The pink smoke is in the air. Inter Miami Soccer is on ESPN 106.3. Here's Mike Rizzo.
The ball still loose in the 6-yard box, and Inter Miami scores! Tomas Aviles, amongst all sorts of humanity, in the right 6-yard box, found it ball to his right foot, and he blasted it through a score of lower limbs, and it beats Brady, who was shielded. Tomas Aviles, his second goal of the season. Did Inter Miami ever need that? Game on! Chicago Fire 2, Inter Miami 1.
That was our lone goal for the Herons in that first half. It was a Toto Aviles 40-minute goal. Kind of a scuffle for that one, and Aviles ends up banging it in the side of the net. Now, maybe a possible own goal at the time we were thinking, but Aviles charged with the goal contribution. The issue, though, is that our Herons are down 3-1 at halftime. Diavila, Dean, and Kawami all with goals in that first half. The 11th minute, the 31st minute, and the 43rd. Inter Miami down 1-0 really before they could blink within the first 10 minutes of the game. The second one came in at 31st. Seemed like our Herons got some momentum with that 40-minute goal by Aviles that you heard, and then Comey with the goal in the 43rd, making it 3-1 at halftime. Inter Miami, let's get your match stats here at the halfway mark. The only stat you could write home about for our Herons is the possession. Inter Miami winning the possession 70% to 30. The voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken Levicka, told you in that first half multiple times, Inter Miami's winning the possession battle, but Chicago's making it count. Chicago multiple times hitting goals off of the counter. They got beat by a set piece in that 11th minute goal by Diavila. And it's weird because Inter Miami was so rock solid against Toronto with their back line of Falcon and company. Falcon not in the starting lineup tonight. I know Aviles has a goal tonight, but usually he's a player who comes off of the bench for Javier Mascherano. Same with Marcelo Wagon, Ian Frey, usually in the lineup as well. This is the 7th game in 18 days for Coach Mascherano and our Herons, and I think it's starting to show with the mixtures of lineups that the gaffer is going with right now. But I expect some halftime substitutions. I agree with the voice of the Herons, Ken Levicka. I think you're going to see a lot of halftime substitutions. I think Ian Frey is going to come on for Wagon. Aviles, who's on a card. I told you in the pregame, Toto's great. I love how hard he works on the defensive end and his aggressiveness, but sometimes it gets him into trouble. And he got into trouble in that first half with the yellow card. I applaud him for the goal, but I can see him as a halftime sub and Maxi Falcon coming on. So I think Falcon could come on for Aviles. I think Ian Frey could come on for Wagon. I think Luan stays on. Noah Allen's been rock solid all year. But I think you're going to change. You're going to see some things changed up in the second half. Now, Oscar Ustadi, not good on the match rating side. You guys know I like my MR. Oscar's got a 4.8 right now. He got megged on one of those goals. And for those of you that don't know what a meg is, he got the ball kicked through his legs and in the back of the net by Dean. So not a lot to write home for our Herons here at the halftime report, but they are only down 2 goals. And as we know, Inter Miami could score a lot of goals very quickly in halves. So I far from over this one, but certainly not going our Herons' way at halftime. 3-1, the Fire find themselves on top of Inter Miami. And just a reminder, Inter Miami really needs to win these fixtures to stay alive in the Supporters' Shield and possibly as one of the top teams, the number 1 seed rather in the Eastern Conference. The Philadelphia Union right now control their own destiny on the Supporters' Shield. If they win their last 2 matchups, they will win, but they're tough opponents against NYCFC and Charlotte. So let's hope our Herons could figure things out tonight, get 3 points against the Fire. And on the flip side, the Fire, if they win tonight, they are in the playoffs. If they win, they are in. We're going to send things back to Ken LaVicka. We're running out of time here on our halftime report. This has been your Inter Miami halftime report presented by your local South Florida Audi dealer. Visit AudiUSA.com to learn more. Ken LaVicka pitch side next for the second half on ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Not all moves reflect your lifestyle. At Safebound Luxury, we provide white glove services tailored for high-end homes, fine art, and designer furnishings. Our expert team ensures every piece is packed, transported, and placed with precision and care. If you're relocating a residence that deserves more than a basic move, schedule your private consultation today at safeboundluxury.com to experience the difference. This isn't just a move. This is the art of moving.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
It's Inter Miami Soccer on ESPN 106.3. Let's get back to the pitch. Here's Ken LaVicka.
It's going to be quite a mountain to climb for Inter Miami, trailing Chicago 3-1 at halftime as we get ready for the second half. Inter Miami 3. Second half substitutions as we anticipated. Baltasar Rodriguez has entered for Telasco Segovia. Ian Frey takes Marcelo Weigott off at right back, and Tomas Aviles, Inter Miami's lone goal scorer, has given way to Tadeo Allende. Those are 3 Javier Mascherano halftime substitutions, and we're back underway in the second half. It'll be Inter Miami going right to left in the attack, and immediately Suarez trying to let the ball play through, roll through to Allende after a feed from the left wing. Suarez overran it, thought Allende was behind him, and Allende was just a bit late, so Inter Miami has to retrieve off in its defensive half, own half, right side of the pitch. There's Rodrigo to Paul, right of the midfield circle. He's going to knife a ball far side to near side. Alba, one touch into the air, left box, but it is blasted away by Chicago across the near touchline, and it'll be a throw-in for Inter Miami. That was Waterman doing the duties on the clearance. Alba tried to find left of the box Baltasar Rodriguez. Chicago once again sends it skyward over the near touchline, nearly into the seats on the near side, and Inter Miami, the Chicago half throw-in. Alba into the middle for Suarez. And a pass to the far side intended for Messi was intercepted by Davila. But then he concedes a throw, and this time on the far side. His touch was a little heavy. Chicago has made a substitution as well. Zinkernagel, the MLS All-Star this season, is on for Chicago. Zinkernagel, his first touch. He's in the defensive midfield, had it tackled away by Busquets, but then a foul is called against Inter Miami's Yannick Bright as he was trying to get to the ball and attempt to get Inter Miami out on the counter. Chicago restarts play in its own half now into the center circle. It's Davila. Davila roams. Good ball onto Zinkernagel into the attacking midfield. He's going to retreat, though, and nearly a steal for Baltasar Rodriguez, and now a loose ball near left touchline, back in the defensive third for Chicago, but Suarez could not get to it, and Jordi Alba concedes a throw. And no, it's going to be an Inter Miami throw-in. The ball went off of Andre Franco near touchline. Inter Miami into the Chicago half with the throw-in. Looking is Alba. Bright sent it right back to Alba, and Alba is going to sky it into the Inter Miami right defensive half, and coming forward, Gonzalo Lujan, and a really poor pass. Davila had it fall right to his feet. Inter Miami able to recover defensively, but then a foul on Yannick Bright. He took Davila down as Davila was retreating further into his defensive half. Chicago 3, Inter Miami 1. You heard Mike Rizzo at halftime bring up the fact that Inter Miami 70-30 in possession, but Chicago has been killer on the counter, and they hit a set piece, a corner as well.
Hola. 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 Hola.
Right attacking half. Chicago coming up the right flank. Elliott. Now to Zinkernagel. Cleared away by Busquets on an entry to the top of the box. And a heavy touch. Inter Miami's going to have it with Suarez. Suarez into the attacking half. Messi. Messi has a runner on the right. Messi looking for Allende. Upper right Allende. He's going to have to collect right box, and then he retreats. It was just a little hard on the pass for Messi. Now to Paul in the middle channel. Sends it to the opposite flank. Rodriguez. Now upper left Suarez. Suarez onto his right foot. Plays through Messi. And Messi couldn't get a touch, and it rolls on to Chris Brady. That was better from Inter Miami in the 49th minute. Suarez was able to cut that ball with his right foot, but Messi was in between strides. He couldn't reach his left foot out to try and direct it on goal. Brady for Chicago taking his time, holding the ball in the box. Has a quick conversation with the referee. And now it is sent away with a right foot from Brady. Busquets headed it right on to Franco of Chicago. Chicago in their own half. And here is a ball defensive half to attacking half. Zinkernagel, he collects. He tried to get through Busquets on the outside right channel. Good job by Busquets to stand his ground. But a pass into the middle. Got through Rodrigo to Paul, but Allende touched it back to the ball. Now Messi here in the left attacking half. Messi approaches the upper right. Messi onto his left foot. Messi floats a ball to the upper left. Alba heads it to Rodriguez left of the penalty arc. Now into the penalty arc, Messi. Messi, left box, Alba, back to Messi in the box. He was ripped down. The official says play on. Allende had a shot that a Chicago foot got on, and Brady collected the ball out of midair in front of goal. Inter Miami knocking on the door. Messi thought that he had earned a penalty. We're looking at the replay right now, and there was an elbow in the back of Messi. I mean, you absolutely could have made a case, but a steal. Messi in the box. Messi put it off the far post. Are you kidding me? He was 1v1, and then a second shot off the post from Allende from distance. Now Bright into the penalty arc. Gives it off Rodriguez, and he has it stolen away. Oh, it is a night of frustrations abound for Inter Miami. Messi put it off the post from point blank. Then it was Allende who blasted it off the post. How did Messi miss this? Oh my goodness. I mean, it's enough to make you nauseous. And then Allende upper right who went off the crossbar. Oh, this can't be happening to Inter Miami. That might have been the supporter shield right there in that sequence. And it remains 3-1 Chicago in the 51st minute. And then a square ball far side to near side, way over the head of Alba from Ian Frey. How many shots? And yes, Messi has been phenomenal, but in the last 3 weeks, how many shots has Messi put off the post? But a poor delivery from Chris Brady, the Chicago keeper, deep in his own third, and Inter Miami a throw-in. Messi in the middle channel off the throw-in. Sends it left box, Alba heads it into the middle of the area. Rodriguez is called for a handball, trying to control it. Messi is extremely frustrated, hands on hips. Lionel Messi, that should have been as easy a goal as he's had all year long. There was not a defender inside. All he had to do was beat the 21-year-old Brady. And it hit the right post. And then just compounding the problem was Allende with an absolute bullet off his right foot from just outside the area. And that clanked off the crossbar. Off the ball out of the box for Chicago. A cross near right end line for Chicago Fire, handed easily by Inter Miami. Inter Miami comes forward, defensive midfield to Paul. Off to the right side, Lujan. Make that Frey. Back to the Paul. Behind the defensive portion of the midfield circle. Gives it to Alba. Alba wanted Suarez making a vertical run. He never got there. Good defense. Baltasar Rodriguez nearly had a steal. He is pestering in the back as Zinkernagel was trying to find room. And then Chicago able to find some room in the middle of their half. Davila off to the left side. Davila has been really good tonight for Chicago. Steady presence in the midfield. Lujan's called for a foul as he knocked Bamba to the turf, just to the defensive side of the midfield stripe. On the far side, so Inter Miami in the second half of matches this season, they have 31 goals, tied for 4th in Major League Soccer, but they've conceded 28 times. That's tied for 9th most in the league. Only a +3 second half goal differential. Chicago has 26 goals in the second half, 14th in MLS. They've conceded 30 times, 6th most in MLS. So Inter Miami, this is where they can hit. This has been a poor portion of matches for Chicago. They've already put 2 off the post, but you got to convert 1 at some point. 3-1 Chicago, 54th minute. Messi just across the midfield stripe. Pushes it on to Allende. Allende Far right side. Oh, a great ball through right box. Here's Ian Bray! And a save from Brady! Bray from a tough angle, but he put it on target, and Brady was able to two-hand it away from his goal. Inter Miami is applying a ton of pressure, but unable to find a second-half breakthrough. Tadeo Allende has been absolutely phenomenal coming in at halftime and nearly had an assist. Played 10 minutes. Brady plays it from his own area. Some problems initially. Franco able to distribute it out of the box, and then Yannick Bright wins it in the left attacking third for Inter Miami. Allende, far right touchline. Good step over, retreats momentarily. Now Messi, 25 yards out. Tried to nutmeg a defender, that was Goodman. Won the ball back after an unsuccessful nutmeg. Messi tried to roll it through to Rodriguez, upper portion of the box. Rodriguez wins a foot raise. Now the ball's loose outside the area, but Chicago's going to race it away. Watch out, is this going to be a counter opportunity? Here's Dean. Dean in his defensive half. Better he's there than the attacking half, and he sends the ball to absolutely nobody in Inter Miami's half except for Gonzalo Lujan, who tracks it down. Inter Miami back into the Chicago portion of the pitch. Holding up play, Frey. That's at about 40 yards out. Now to Paul, to the right of the midfield. Now Yannick Bright for Inter Miami. On to Alba, left touchline. Sends the ball outside the upper left. It falls to Rodriguez. Rodriguez plays through. Suarez, goal! Just outside the 6-yard box. Suarez got on the end of it after a pass appeared to be deflected. There's a finish for Inter Miami in the second half. Inter Miami back within 1. Chicago 3, Inter Miami 2, and a bit of salvation for the Herons. Rodriguez stayed with it. Suarez is onside, Allende's onside. Suarez scores. That is the 8th goal of the season for Luis Suarez. He beats Brady to the far right post. Inter Miami has put 2 off the post and had Brady save a shot from Ian Frey, but Suarez with the goal in the 56th minute, and Inter Miami within 1. Inter Miami cannot allow Chicago, though, an easy counter goal. And Chicago's hunting for it, and here they come on the counter. Bamba up the left side. Bamba, left box, and a good defensive play for Gonzalo Lujan to take it off his feet. And then Bamba with a push in the far corner. And the referee awarded a corner to Chicago. Lujan thought he was pushed. This will be a far side to near side set piece goal for Chicago. In the right third. The first goal tonight for Chicago came off of a corner. That was Davila who finished. There's the whistle from the referee, Alan Chapman. Here comes the Chicago corner. This is right-footed, whipped in back post, and it's caught by Ustari easily, and he distributes. And here comes Inter Miami. Charging is Baltasar Rodriguez into the attacking half, looking for reinforcements. Now he's going to dribble into the midfield circle, and now he has room to operate up the middle. And now he sprays it to the outside. Guess who? Lionel Messi, far right touchline. Messi comes on. He's outside the upper right. Messi to the middle. Messi on his left foot. Messi wanted to feed it to Alba left box. It went off a Chicago foot. It's retrieved by Sergio Busquets of Inter Miami. Chicago is throwing numbers back. 3-2, Chicago Fire. 59 minutes on the clock. Busquets comes up the middle. And now he's going to chop a ball near left touchline. Outside left flank. Alba whips the ball into the box. It went through the legs of Allende. And Chicago has to desperately clear across the far touchline. Inter Miami still in the Chicago half. A desperate throw-in from DePaul. Inter Miami trying to pick up the pace. It is urgent now in South Florida. Busquets once again comes up the middle channel into the left attacking third. Has Messi left box. Messi skies a left-footed shot from an impossible angle just wide of the upper left. There are hands on hips. There are exhausted Chicago players, and there are substitutions coming for Greg Berhalter. Mauricio Pineda is about to check in for Chicago. Brian Gutierrez will bring Jonathan Bamba off. Gutierrez, a 22-year-old, has a cap with the U.S. men's national team. Now the aforementioned Pineda, it's his turn. Who is he taking off? This is going to be, I believe that's Dean coming off, and it is. And then the final substitution, Justin Reynolds for Chicago Fire. 3-2 Chicago. We are past the hour mark. Messi put a shot off the post. Tadeo Allende a shot off the post. Ian Frey was denied. Luis Suarez with a goal, and Messi was just off the mark with a shot moments ago. Inter Miami has dominated possession in this match. But they find themselves on the wrong end of a 3-2 scoreline. Justin Reynolds, by the way, took off Davila, the first Chicago goal scorer. Baltasar Rodriguez in his own half. He lays a couple of Chicago defenders' legs, including Reynolds, who just came on, and now Inter Miami into the Chicago half again. Left side of the pitch. Messi nearly gave it away in the midfield circle. He's knocked to the ground. The referee says play on. Perhaps this is advantage. Alba near left touch line, and Inter Miami's going to reset deep in its attack in midfield, left to the center circle. Busquets whips the ball to Alba from the left of the box. Now Suarez, right foot, and he was trying to set up Messi. Instead of trying to maybe push the envelope, he settled, and Chicago stole it. And a throw-in coming for Chicago just to the defensive side of the midfield stripe. You just wish that Suarez, and I know that everybody respects the greatness of Lionel Messi, but Suarez had some room in front of him, and I know sometimes he doesn't trust his speed or the stability of his knees, but he had a good 3 steps he could have taken and maybe unleashed something. Oh, what a steal from Suarez. Inter Miami on the counter. Allende. Now Messi just outside the penalty area. Messi shot! Oh, he put it wide of the left post just outside the penalty arc. That did not miss by much, and the keeper Brady was beaten. Outstanding effort from Suarez to get Inter Miami out on the counter, and Messi nearly curled it into the goal. He is due a breakthrough. Inter Miami has to keep pushing. They've got Chicago on the ropes with a 3-2 scoreline. It has been extremely sketchy for Chicago in this second half. But Inter Miami needs to keep coming, and it needs to be precise. The supporter shield in all likelihood on the line here if Inter Miami can't get all 3. And the throw-in from Reynolds of Chicago, he sent the throw-in out of play. I haven't seen that in a long time, especially from a paid pro. Inter Miami with DePaul, far side, into the left attacking half. Now Ian Frey, who is a halftime substitution for Marcelo Wagon. Busquets just inside the defensive half. Now midfield circle, Lujan. Now on to DePaul. DePaul had 2 defenders flanking him, and Inter Miami is retreating, and this will be swept on to Oscar Ustari in his own penalty arc, deep right. 64th minute, 3-2 Chicago. Yannick Bright in the midfield. Fights off a defender, and Inter Miami trying to come forward. Chicago keeping Inter Miami from their own half, and now Inter Miami briefly got into the left attacking half, and now here comes DePaul up the middle. DePaul looking for options. We'll send it to Messi outside right channel. He's about 30 yards out. Oh, Messi, good move on his left foot. Messi send it into the middle of the area. It was between 2 Inter Miami players. Yannick Bright won it back for Inter Miami. Alba tried a little kick pass. He mishit it. He was able to gain possession again, and Busquets goes to retreat into the defensive half, and now DePaul hanging out in the midfield circle, and he's going to come into the Chicago portion once again. 3-2 Chicago. Inter Miami with a goal courtesy of Suarez in this second half. Baltasar Rodriguez left flank for Inter Miami. Meanders, now sends it right wing, DePaul. DePaul to Messi outside the upper right. Messi, good footwork. Messi had it taken off his foot, but it fell to Suarez, but a heavy touch from Suarez. Now Chicago, as Inter Miami swarms, good play in its defensive third. Gutman, the left back, hesitates, and he sent it right to Rodriguez. Inter Miami, here they come again. Messi has it in the right box. Messi, left foot, and he tried to play it through, and Suarez couldn't get a touch, and Alba on the back post couldn't get a touch. It was a tap-in goal coming, and nobody could finish. What is happening tonight? It is witchcraft in favor of Chicago. Messi probably could have taken a shot. He had defenders collapsing on him. I do believe that Suarez might have been offside as we look at the replay. So I'd have to get a second look at it. Inter Miami has been tremendously, tantalizingly, frustratingly, maddeningly close in this second half. 66th minute, 3-2 Chicago. Rodriguez in the Chicago half. Prattled into from behind, kept possession. Rodriguez has been instant improvement for Inter Miami once he entered as a substitute. As soon as I say that, he has a pass intercepted. There was a Chicago player knocked down, but the referee calls advantage, and now Chicago has good build-up, but failing at the last moment was Brian Gutierrez as he played the ball through the middle channel. But DePaul not paying attention, has it stolen from behind. But Inter Miami, good job by Yannick Bright to punch it away from Gutierrez, who was coming towards the penalty arc. And now Ustari distributes, and Inter Miami launches a ball into the attacking half up and over the head of Allende. It's going to be retrieved by Jack Elliott, the captain center back for the visitors from Chicago. Currently 8th in the East in the real-time table. That would put them into the playoffs. That would knock New York Red Bulls out after 15 straight years of making the postseason. Zinkernagel, he is fouled by Sergio Busquets in the defensive midfield, and a card is shown to Busquets of Inter Miami. Oh, it's Baltasar Rodriguez, my apologies. Oh, both? Got him. So Busquets and Rodriguez for Inter Miami. Rodriguez got it for descent. Fafa Pico getting warm for Inter Miami. Noah Allen, Maxi Falcone as well. And Chicago sets up residence in the Miami half. Right side. On the far side, Pineda. Now Gutierrez. Gutierrez finds Zinkernagel. An attempt to pass it to Reynolds coming up the right flank is denied by Inter Miami. And now Rodriguez, near right touchline in his own half, is shut down. And we're going to have a card. This is going to be Andre Franco who's shown the card. That is the second card tonight for Chicago, but there's only one Chicago yellow card recipient on the pitch. And then Franco says, I have a knee injury, and he goes to ground. 3-2, Chicago leads into the 69th minute. And now the physios come out for Chicago. Rodrigo to Paul. He's yelling at the referee saying, this guy's not hurt. Franco stayed down across the touchline after he had the harsh foul on Rodriguez, and then he stepped 5 steps out onto the pitch and collapsed back down, rubbing at his knee, the outside of his knee. It's going to be New England Revolution into Chase Stadium on Saturday. Mike Rizzo will have the call. I'm back on college football duties. But will Inter Miami be in a position to still chase the supporter shield in any meaningful way? Right now on the wrong end of a 3-2 scoreline against Chicago. And we welcome you to the 70th minute. And Andre Franco is still down. Franco with a heavy limp. He's going to head to the touchline. And Greg Berhalter will substitute him off. Kellen Acosta, the longtime U.S. men's national team veteran and the 2022 World Cup participant, is on for Andre Franco. The 30-year-old former LAFC man, Kellen Acosta. As Chicago clings to a 3-2 lead. Inter Miami left attacking half off the restart. Messi had a pass deflected off his left foot, but it's retrieved by Inter Miami. Messi pushes on to Allende, middle channel now, right wing, left attacking half to Paul. Back to Messi outside the penalty arc. Messi wanted Alba left box, and that's intercepted by Roberts. Now Chicago on the counter per usual. Pass is behind Zinkernagel, and Inter Miami wins it back. Alba back heel. Near left touchline, Busquets still 30 yards out. That brought oohs and ahs from the crowd, what Alba did. DePaul lobs it into the box, and Allende leapt, and he couldn't get a head on it at the top of the area, and it one hops on to Chris Brady. If that was just a little lower, Allende probably can chest it down, get himself in a position to score. 71-29, 71-30, 71-31 here in South Florida. Here's a ball defensive half into right, attacking third. Kuipers for Chicago. Now he retreats. He slices a ball left wing. Good tackle, Lujan. And Inter Miami back on the charge. Square ball, high in the air. And Suarez puts a head on it. Alba has it now. He has a whole lot of room to work with. Near left touchline, 25 yards out. Floats a ball on a cross, back post! It's headed! And it falls to Brady. Allende was able to get a forehead on it off a hop, but he couldn't direct it to goal. And Brady nestles it into his footballing bosom. Oh, my goodness. That looked very similar to the play. That was the lone Inter Miami goal against Toronto on Saturday. And Inter Miami has been knocking on the door all half, and only one goal to show for it. If they played like this in the first half, we'd be in a much different situation than we find Inter Miami in now. DePaul one hops into Rodriguez, and back into Chicago's half. Inter Miami comes. DePaul swipes the ball. Busquets 35 yards away. Now DePaul. Messi playing deep 35 yards out. Retrieves and rolls it short range to DePaul, who's going to distribute behind himself into the midfield circle. Now here's Busquets, the veteran. Suarez outside the upper left. Rodriguez now sprays it Alba left of the box. Alba sweeps to the middle. Suarez right foot. We are level. Luis Suarez has a brace. Inter Miami has supporter shield light. 3-3. 73rd minute. Here comes Inter Miami. This is about to be 27 minutes. Make that 17 minutes of intense drama here in South Florida. Luis Suarez has come alive. Alba with a beautiful threaded pass to Luis Suarez. One touch in the finish. And this is going to be a high-octane final 17 here at Chase Stadium. Game more than on. In fact, it's in the balance now. Mascherano jumping up and down, shouting directions from the Inter Miami touchline. Chicago in its own defensive third. Kuipers briefly won a ball in the Chicago attacking half, but he biffed it out of play, and Inter Miami a throw-in. Jordi Alba, his 12th assist of the season. Luis Suarez. He has 9 goals on the campaign. And now Inter Miami, left attacking third. Messi had an overlapping runner. That was Frey. Messi's going to run backwards momentarily and now sends it Busquets straight on about 35 yards away. Busquets wanted to find Messi on the right wing. Good job by Kuipers to get a left leg on it for Chicago, and Inter Miami with Gonzalo Lujan in the defensive center circle has Busquets. Busquets, Rodriguez back to Busquets in front of the midfield stripe, near side. Busquets, high ball, wafted outside the penalty yard. Messi's knocked into, the referee says continue playing. Yannick Bright trying to win it for Inter Miami, and he will, as Busquets has to retrieve in the defensive half. And Busquets will turn and roll it on to Oscar Ustari off his line, well outside of his penalty area for Inter Miami. Chicago trying to attack Inter Miami in the midfield. See if they leave themselves vulnerable in the back, and then Baltasar Rodriguez is kicked in the foot on the near side. And now Noah Allen is the next entry into this match for Inter Miami. And off comes Gonzalo Lujan. Conceivably, Noah Allen will be more beneficial to the attack to go for the win. The referee is holding Allen, and now he allows him in. I think they were waiting for Rodriguez, and there is the restart. Inter Miami, left attacking third. Alba trying to send a ball to the middle. The Chicago head found it, but Ian Frey has it on the right flank. Now to Paul, sweeps the ball left of the midfield circle for Noah Allen. Now good ball, Alba, left of the box. Here's Baltasar Rodriguez. Rodriguez, an attempt at a cross. Chicago sends it out of play, left end line. It's an Inter Miami corner brought to you by Leiter, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, representing injured people and their families for more than 35 years. The corner sailed to the upper right. DePaul sends it to Frey outside the right portion of the box. Now he's going to roll it back out to DePaul, 25 yards out. Right wing, into the middle, Bright. Bright, good chopping ball. Baltasar Rodriguez outside the upper left, finds Messi in the box to the left. On his right foot, DePaul into the midfield D, or make that the penalty D. He couldn't handle it, but Inter Miami tried to win it back, and it's a foul. Baltasar Rodriguez, and he's shown a card as he grabbed onto the arm of Brian Gutierrez. 3-3, Inter Miami and Chicago, 77.5 minutes. So as it stands, Chicago has yet to clinch a playoff spot, but Inter Miami still in a spot to hurt itself in the Supporter Shield race in a very bruising way. Chicago lucky to get out of their defensive third. The race is on into the Inter Miami own end, and Noah Allen did a good job to win a foot race with Zinkernagel and roll it on to Ustari. Now Yannick Bright in his own defensive end. He retreats, and Ustari's about to get the ball back in his own box again, and he will right-foot it out to Noah Allen. Allen makes his way right to left. Now to Paul, defensive midfield. Right back to Allen near left touchline. 3-3, Inter Miami, Chicago Fire. 78.5 minutes on the clock here at Chase Stadium. It is a nervy feeling here in this building right now. Inter Miami 2 second-half goals to draw level. Inter Miami on the charge forward, and Rodriguez and Messi were attempting a 1-2 on the right wing. The timing wasn't quite there. And now Chicago laboring against Inter Miami once again. Waterman deep in his own box. Now, right box, here's a giveaway. Messi to the penalty arc, and it could not be controlled. And Chicago, look out, it's a 3-on-1. This might be the match here. Coming forward, Kuipers. Kuipers had Noah Allen get to it for a moment. Here was a tackle from Inter Miami. A shot was blocked away by Inter Miami. It's still loose outside the penalty area. Now upper left, a ball played left of the 6-yard box. Pineda, and it's a goal for Chicago. He crossed it to the far post, and it is finished by Chicago. It is 4-3 Chicago Fire. Well, that has taken all the air out of the building. Justin Reynolds was all by himself, and he poked it in. Desperate defending from Inter Miami, but for a third time tonight, Inter Miami is hit on the counter, and it's likely goodbye to the Supporters Shield. Pineda with the assist. It was a good effort from Ian Frey as he tackled it in the box, but Chicago maintained possession. Frey headed it out of the box momentarily, but then Frey allowed Pineda to play through, and Pineda simply touched it on to Justin Reynolds for his first Chicago goal. 4-3 into the 80th minute. That one really, really, really hurts. After all that work to come back to draw level. VAR looked at it for offside, but it was definitely onside. And now Inter Miami needs to find 2 goals in 10 minutes. A nightmare sequence after Inter Miami had Chicago by the throat the entire second half. All that energy in this building, it is stagnant now. DePaul middle channel for Inter Miami in the left attacking third. Lobs it over the top. Suarez right foot. He didn't get a good touch on it. Rolled it on to Brady, but the flag was up anyway. He's offside, Inter Miami. Well, Inter Miami would have absolutely taken the point, all things considered, as opposed to dropping all 3 points. Oh, Inter Miami is screaming. They wanted to throw, and Yannick Bright wanted away from Reynolds, and Inter Miami left attacking third. Alba trying to find Messi on the right wing. It was cleared by Chicago, but only as far as DePaul, 25 yards out. Alba, another cross into the middle. That could not find an Inter Miami head, but Messi has it back outside the upper left. Messi had it tackled away. The referee said play on again. Messi's incensed. Right box, Suarez trying to find Allende. He got a touch on it, but it floated into Brady, who was sliding towards it, and he catches it before it goes across the goal line. Brady has saved the day a couple of times for Chicago, and he's only 21 years old. A delicious ball from Suarez on the far side. Allende could not get enough on it as his momentum was carrying him away from goal. Did a good job to get a left foot on it. And Chicago in the right attacking third. Zinkernagel. Back to Reynolds. Now Chicago eats some possession here as we get closer to 83 minutes. And good shape on the Chicago attack. A step over. And now a right-footed shot, and Chicago scores again from 27 yards away. What a blast from Brian Gutierrez. And this match is over. Chicago 5, Inter Miami 3. And it is the most significant defensive meltdown of the season for Inter Miami at the worst possible time. What a missile from Brian Gutierrez. And fans head for the exits here in South Florida. And there are going to be a lot of questions that have to be answered about this Inter Miami defensive effort tonight. Oh my goodness, that was as good a hit as you will see. Brian Gutierrez, homegrown product. 2 Chicago Fire homegrowns have scored to ice the game away here at Inter Miami tonight. What a banner result for Chicago Fire. Their rebuild that has taken years and years and years. Haven't made the playoffs since 2017, and they're going to get into the postseason in grand fashion. Fafa Pico comes on for Inter Miami. Yannick Bright substituted out. Baltasar Rodriguez and Suarez outside the penalty arc. Suarez onto his left foot, lost the ball, falls to Allende. Allende had it tackled away right box. The race is on. Pico could not keep it in play. Far right touchline. That is not a good introduction to this match for Fafa Pico. Well, Inter Miami not mathematically dead yet for the Supporters Shield, but it is now on life support. Inter Miami controlled its own destiny, its own path to the Supporters Shield last Wednesday after blowing out NYCFC 4-0. Since then, dropped 2 points at Toronto, one of the worst teams in MLS, and drop all 3 to Chicago Fire. Justin Reynolds for Chicago. Somehow was able to get through Baltasar Rodriguez. 4-on-2. They cross into the area, went off the face of Noah Allen. And here's Rodrigo DePaul for Inter Miami. DePaul sends a long ball forward. Wants Suarez, who has it near left touchline. Good drag from Suarez. Driving in outside the left of the box, and then Suarez is cut down. It'll be a free kick for Inter Miami, and a yellow is shown to Jack Elliott of Chicago. Suarez looks to be a bit banged up. We're into the 86th minute. This is a pivotal set piece here if Inter Miami wants any chance of collecting a point. Came all the way back to draw 3-3. Had a couple opportunities to take the lead, couldn't, and then Chicago. With 2 goals subsequently. Messi is in a disagreement with the referee about where the ball should be placed. Yeah, frustration's boiling over for Messi. Referee Alan Chapman finally gives in to Messi. Past 86.5 minutes. There's the whistle. Messi hits it with a left foot towards the mouth of goal, cleared away by Chicago. Now middle channel, Olba. Olba pops it right box. Pico got a head on it. Here's Messi with a header, and it's right to Chris Brady. And he makes yet another save. Chris Brady, homegrown. Justin Reynolds, homegrown. Brian Gutierrez, homegrown. And all 3 have won this match for Chicago. And Greg Berhalter, in his first year as Chicago Fire manager after being dismissed as the boss of the U.S. men's national team, has orchestrated a wonderful turnaround for a franchise now that has a lot of momentum and a new stadium coming. Playoff bound Chicago Fire. Inter Miami in the Chicago half, nutmegging past Alba. Now Noah Allen left of the box. Allen's going to have to distribute it back to Alba. Alba left foot, had a pass blocked away by Reynolds, and it's going to be a near side throw-in for Inter Miami and Jordi Alba. Night of ups and downs for Inter Miami. Lionel Messi, left foot, middle channel, and his left-footed shot sent 45 feet into the air, and about 25 rows into the seats. That's the type of night it's been for Lionel Messi. 9 saves tonight for Chris Brady of Chicago. 11 total shots on target. 2 off the post from Messi, who was point blank 99 out of 100 times. The shot he had, he finishes. A good tackle from Baltasar Rodriguez in the Chicago attacking half, and it earns a throw-in for Inter Miami. 89 minutes on the clock, and a Rodrigo DePaul pass is stolen by Justin Reynolds and simply cleared into the Chicago portion, into the Inter Miami portion, I should say. Probably have a decent amount of added time, I would think. But if Inter Miami wants any time to work with, they've got to score, and it needs to happen now. Down 2 goals, 5-3. DePaul short on another pass. Ian Frey's knocked down, and it's a foul on the far side. Haile Selassie is whistled for the infraction. Suarez in the Chicago half for Inter Miami. DePaul lobs it to Messi, on to Rodriguez, and it's stolen away. And here's Zinkernagel for Chicago. Got stood up in the midfield, and now here's Chicago on the counter once again. Gutierrez to Reynolds. Near right touchline, Inter Miami able to get numbers back. Now Kellen Acosta, middle channel, 6 yards, or 6 minutes, I should say, of extra time in this second half. Brought to you by your South Florida Audi dealers. Test drive the Q5 today. AudiUSA.com. That's AudiUSA.com. Inter Miami will win the ball back in their own half and trying to surge forward. Allende to Lionel Messi in the attacking midfield. Messi has Acosta on his left hip. Messi still going outside the right channel, and then Haile Selassie able to finally track back and grab possession for Chicago. We're a minute into the additional 6. Inter Miami is going to fall to 16-7-8, stuck on 56 points, and stay 4th in the East. Even a single point would have pushed them to 3rd. NYCFC, who sits in the 3 spot, will play Philadelphia this coming weekend in a match that would have had major ramifications for Inter Miami, but Inter Miami is going to have to become full-fledged NYCFC fans now. Alba, near left touchline, left attacking 3rd. Rodriguez pushes the ball outside the upper left. Suarez trying to drag, and Elliott dispossessed him while basically laying on the turf. Oh, Inter Miami had trouble in the attacking midfield. 2 Inter Miami players, Allen and Suarez, ran into one another. It was intercepted by Kuipers, but Inter Miami quickly back on it. Left attacking half to Paul. 92 minutes of an additional 6. Suarez could not play Allende through. Chicago the clearance. Inter Miami near the midfield circle again. Slicing the ball far side to near side. Busquets. Alba into the left box, wanted Suarez, but he was shielded away. That's a good defensive play by Chicago, and then Jordi Alba couldn't keep the clearance in play. And Chicago is going to take its time on the throw-in. Well, this is going to go one of 2 ways. Inter Miami allows the final part of the regular season to pile on top of it, and they come in on the back foot to the MLS Cup playoffs, or they try and fight in the final 3 and find a way to feel good about themselves heading into the playoffs, where they suffered absolute heartbreak against Atlanta in the first round a year ago. But that decision needs to be made, and it needs to be made tonight. Messi, Suarez wanted Messi on a 1-2. And it did not link up with Messi, and Suarez has his hands on the back of his head. Meanwhile, Chicago racing down the pitch for a 2-on-1. Are they going to try and add a 6th? Zinkernagel, yes they are, into the right box. Zinkernagel on his right foot. Zinkernagel cuts it back to his left. Zinkernagel, and he mishit a ball badly with his left foot from about 8 yards out, and it sails out of play. Busquets, now Messi in the Chicago half. To the middle, Suarez swipes it lightly to Baltasar Rodriguez. Now Jordi Alba on the left wing. Back to Rodriguez. And he had it easily taken away by Pineda. This is a tired Inter Miami bunch now. 2 minutes left to go. 94-13 on the clock. Well, it's going to be Justin Reynolds with the game winner for Chicago. Brian Gutierrez heaped on the dirt with his blast from 30 yards. And now Chicago on the counter again. Reynolds has a runner up the right side. It's curled to the left box. Haile Selassie tries to chip Ustari. It's up and over the crossbar. Haile Selassie had played it onto his right foot, but couldn't weight it well enough. It is going to be a fun trip back to the Windy City for Chicago Fire. They have now beaten Minnesota United on the road. They have taken down Columbus at home, and they have beaten Inter Miami 3 straight matches, playing their best football of the season. And at the right time, they could be a problem in the postseason. Fafa Pico, right of the box, sends in a low cross, never found Suarez. It's blasted across the far touchline. It's going to be a deep third. Chicago side throw-in for Inter Miami. We have about 40 seconds left. Inter Miami, border of the attacking third. Now Frey on the left side feeds Alba. Alba plays it left of the area. Frey, right foot in the middle. Bicycle kick. Suarez couldn't get a foot on it. Upper right recovering as Allende turns it to the outside. And now he's going to lob a ball back in. Gutman, no problems with that. Heads it on to Rodrigo de Paul of Inter Miami. And there is the final whistle. Shirts over faces for Inter Miami, as supporters' shield hopes have likely been dashed. Luis Suarez takes off the pink wrap on his right wrist in frustration. Lionel Messi does not stay to swap jerseys, as he angrily stomps off the pitch. And a night to forget for Inter Miami. Despite a Luis Suarez brace, Inter Miami drops all 3 to Chicago. They dropped 4 points in their last 2 after controlling their own destiny with 6 to play for the Supporters' Shield. Inter Miami was down 3-1 at halftime, drew level 3-3, but lose 5-3 here at home. 3 matches left to play, and Inter Miami needs a whole lot of help. But in reality, they're probably simply playing for home field advantage in the playoffs. Now, the man of the match tonight for Inter Miami is Luis Suarez with his 2 goals. For Chicago, it could have been a whole number of attackers. So Chicago comes in and beats Inter Miami, holding off an absolutely lightning quick and powerful charge from Inter Miami. A whole lot of composure from the visitors from the Windy City. For Oscar Gonzalez, the OG onside engineer, I'm Ken LaVicka. Your final scoreline for a final time from Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Chicago Fire 5, Inter Miami 3. Mike Rizzo has the post-game show from the network studios in West Palm Beach. After this is Inter Miami football.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's, where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Putting the ball behind the keeper takes lots and lots and lots of tireless work that leads to something brilliant. It's the same with PNC Bank. They take a smart, practical approach with your money so you can score brilliant financial goals. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. Visit pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Tina, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hey, Colin, what's up?
How's the gym?
It's been great. I'm seeing results. My sports certified Vitacost products have made a world of difference.
Oh, same. Isn't it great? Vitacost is basically the reason I've been able to keep up with Ironman training. Everything you need is in one place for my BCAAs, protein, and electrolytes. Best part, it's all clean and free of banned substances.
Go re-up on your supplements today. Visit Vitacost.com and use code ESPN20 for 20% off. Level up your game with Vitacost.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
The road is calling. Embrace the thrill of the drive with the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. Featuring effortless power, serious acceleration, and advanced Audi tech. The next chapter of Audi is here. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
You lather, rinse, moisturize, and repeat. At this point, you're practically training for the Shower Olympics. But here's the twist. It's not your shampoo's fault, it's your water. Hard water leaves a mineral residue that clogs your pores and dries out your hair. Culligan water softeners remove damaging minerals, revitalizing brittle hair and dry skin. Upgrade your shower system today for only $79 a month. Visit Culligan.com for more information or just say,
Hey, Culligan man!
Final score out of Lauderdale. Our Inter Miami Herons losers to the Chicago Fire 5-3. The Fire have secured a playoff spot. Chicago needed to beat our Inter Miami Herons tonight in Lauderdale to secure their first playoff spot in almost a decade, but the Chicago Fire winning 5-3 over the Herons. Let's get you your match facts. Inter Miami dominated possession 64% comparatively to Chicago's 36. Both teams on the XG, the expected goal category, over the number 2. Inter Miami with a 2.36 XG, Chicago with a 2.41. There were 35 total shots in the game. Inter Miami had 24. Chicago had 11. Inter Miami had 10 shots on target. Chicago had 6. 3 big chances for both teams. All 3 big chances missed for our Inter Miami Herons. 1 big chance missed for the Fire. And 17 total fouls in the game. 9 on Inter Miami, 8 on Chicago. 4 corner kicks in the game, and 2 split down the middle. Toto Aviles and Luis Suarez were the goal scorers tonight for our Herons. Aviles in the 40th, and then Suarez in the 57th and 74th. A different person for Chicago scored all 5 goals. Diavia scored in the 11th, Dean in the 31st, Kouami in the 43rd, Reynolds in the 80th, and Gutierrez to seal things up in the 83rd minute for Chicago. Final score, 5-3. Inter Miami all but done on that Supporter Shield title chance. Now, there is still a slight chance if Philadelphia loses their final 2 games coming up this Saturday and on the 18th. Their 2 opponents left are NYCFC and Charlotte. So Inter Miami, all the Heron fans out there will be throwing on an NYCFC hat, hoping that Philadelphia could fall victim to NYCFC. Also, Inter Miami would have to continue to win games, but it's certainly going to be tough now with Inter Miami getting 1 point in their last 2 games. And as I've mentioned, Chicago solidified their spot in the playoffs with the win tonight. But final score 5-3. We'll go through the goal scoring highlights next on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
PNC Bank salutes you, Soccer on the Radio listener. While others will just read about the match, you're laser focused on every detail. At PNC Bank, we get it. We're all in on helping you make smart money moves and score your financial goals. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, proud banking sponsor of Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts and Brilliantly Boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Don't fumble your finances. Whether you're running a business or running plays, Jay Zolo and Associates keeps your books tight in your stress light. With nearly 30 years of experience, Jay Zolo is your go-to coach for QuickBooks, offering expert consulting, one-on-one training, and full-service bookkeeping. Jay Zolo and Associates, simplifying your books so you can win on and off the field. Visit jzolo.com today. That's JZOLLO.com.
The season is kicking off. Keep your home in the win column with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can score 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong on the field, not in your living room. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8-star rating, EDS is trusted as the MVP, and it has been since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Kick off your game day comfort and don't sweat the small stuff.
Kaiser University's flagship campus. The 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 26 national championships, including back-to-back-to-back lacrosse titles, and they just won their first ever national championship for men's tennis. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest on the championship flagship campus of Kaiser University.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Touchdown! Racetrack is proud to support our local high school football teams. Whether it's Friday night lights or tailgate parties, Racetrack has whatever gets you going to fuel all the gridiron excitement this fall. Grab your favorite snacks, crispy chips, delicious Nathan's hot dogs, sweet treats, or our house-made pizza slices. Don't forget to quench your thirst with a variety of ice-cold drinks. Racetrack, your one-stop shop to fuel your football Fridays.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Final score out of Fort Lauderdale, 5-3. The Chicago Fire beating our Inter Miami Herons and securing a playoff spot. Now it is time to get in to our highlights here on your Inter Miami postgame show. 3 goals in the game tonight. Toto Aviles had the first goal for the Herons in the 40th minute to make things 2-1.
The ball still loose in the 6-yard box, and Inter Miami scores! Tomas Aviles, amongst all sorts of humanity, in the right 6-yard box, found it fall to his right foot, and he blasted it through a score of lower limbs, and it beats Brady, whose vision, who was shielded. Tomas Aviles, his second goal of the season. Did Inter Miami ever need that? Game on! Chicago Fire 2, Inter Miami 1.
The Fire would score another goal in the 43rd minute, but the second half came around, and Luis Suarez turned it on. Suarez had a brace in the game. Here is the first of 2.
Rodriguez plays through. Suarez goal! Just outside the 6-yard box! Suarez got on the end of it after a pass appeared to be deflected. There's a finish for Inter Miami in the second half. Inter Miami back within 1. Chicago 3, Inter Miami 2, and a bit of salvation for the Herons.
That is the voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken LaVicka, on the call, folks. 3-2 was the score at that time. And then Suarez made things extra interesting in the 74th, making things 3-3.
Suarez right foot, high level. Luis Suarez has a brace. Inter Miami has supporter shield light. 3-3, 73rd minute. Here comes Inter Miami.
Now the comeback was, falling short because Reynolds for Chicago, Justin Reynolds scored in the 80th minute, making things 4-3. And then Brian Gutierrez, 3 minutes later, made it 5-3. And that ultimately, those two goals were too much for our Herons to come back from. But final score 5-3. When we return on your Inter Miami Radio Network and post-game show, we will continue to talk about the future games for Inter Miami coming up. And the next time we will talk to you on your Inter Miami Radio Network.
Hey, it's Theo Dorsey. My favorite time of year is here, football season. And if you're a fan of football, you need to be playing Prize Picks. It's simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Will Saquon Barkley have more or less than 1 rushing touchdown? Will Joe Burrow throw more or less than 2.5 passing touchdowns? If your picks are right, you can cash in. Prize Picks also puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all football season. We make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
A bicycle kick is a risky move, and risky can be exciting for soccer, but not for your money. PNC Bank believes boring is better. It's the smart and steady way to manage your finances and save the excitement for all you want to do in life. See how at pnc.com/brilliantlyboring. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865 and proud to sponsor Inter Miami CF radio broadcasts. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Football season is here, and the ultimate game day headquarters is Twin Peaks. Whether it's college Saturdays or NFL Sundays, catch every kickoff, every touchdown, every Hail Mary right here at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. From scratch-made favorites to ice-cold 29-degree draft beers, Twin Peaks is delivering all the winning plays. Looking for a stronger lineup? No one does game day like Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, come for the game, stay for the experience.
Tina, I've been looking everywhere for you.
Hey, Colin, what's up?
How's the gym?
It's been great. I'm seeing results. My sports-certified Vitacost products have made a world of difference.
Oh, same. Isn't it great? Vitacost is basically the reason I've been able to keep up with Ironman training. Everything you need is in one place for my BCAAs, protein, and electrolytes. Best part, it's all clean and free of banned substances.
Go re-up on your supplements today. Visit Vitacost.com and use code ESPN20 for 20% off. Level up your game with Vitacost.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Final score 5-3 out of Lauderdale. Our Herons losing to the Chicago Fire. Well, it's time to take a look at what's coming up for our Inter Miami Herons. The next time I will be talking to you guys is 7 o'clock this coming Saturday. Our Inter Miami Herons will be hosting the New England Revolution. I will be on site for the game. I'll have the pregame, halftime, postgame, and the call. The voice of the Inter Miami Herons, Ken LaVicka, is on college football duty, so I will be handling the play-by-play action coming up October 4th. We're in October, folks, coming up tomorrow. But, I will be on the call October 4th. The voice of the Herons, Ken LaVicka, back on that college football duty this Saturday. So looking forward to that and appreciate the opportunity from Ken. But as I've mentioned, final score 5-3. Fire beating our Herons. The supporter shield, kind of last gasp effort our Inter Miami Herons have had over the last couple of weeks now might be coming to an end. We really are rooting against Philadelphia at this point. The Union, 2 more games left to play. If they win all 2, if they win both of them, rather, They will be hoisting that trophy. They have NYCFC this Saturday at home, and then next week they will be on the road at Charlotte. So we need the Union to lose this Saturday and our Herons to get back to the winning ways. And folks, I got a great feeling coming up on Saturday against the Revolution that our Herons going to get back on track and possibly have a chance at the Supporters Shield. But final score, 5-3. We'll catch up with you guys this Saturday at 7 p.m. Thank you to everybody who watched and listened. And just a reminder, download that ESPN South Florida app. Folks, it's right at your fingertips. You can listen to Inter Miami wherever you are in the world with your ESPN South Florida app. Download it today. We'll talk to you guys at 7 p.m. Everyone have a safe night. Bye.
We now return to our regularly scheduled programming already in progress on ESPN 106.3.